Which musician holds the record for SNL performances? As far as a musician goes, we are going to go to Jim to see if we can get the answer. Hey, Jim, good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to say Dave Grohl.
Yeah, that's correct, Dave Grohl. Hang on a second, because he has done it with not only Foo Fighters, but also with Nirvana and Tom Petty and all these other little jump-ins.
No kidding.
And so as far as a musical guest goes, he has been on more than anybody else at 15 times, apparently.
That's pretty amazing.
And on this weekend, and I have some things to follow up with about that. But in the meantime, we are going to set up Jim with a pair of tickets to see Tom Papa that is called the Good Stuff Tour, Friday, February 16th at the Keswick Theater in Glenside, and tickets are on sale now via AXS.com. At the box office this weekend, number one was Five Nights at Freddy's, made $78 million. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour falls to number two. Then you have Killers of the Flower Moon, After Death, Exorcist, The Believer, Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie. Number seven was Freelance, and then you have Nightmare Before Christmas, Saw X, and The Creator wraps up the top 10. We're going to start with, as I said earlier, the big gut punch story of the weekend. Matthew Perry of Friends fame died due to an apparent drowning on Saturday. He was only 54 years old. He was found unresponsive in a hot tub at his Los Angeles home. His official cause of death is not yet known, but no foul play is suspected. According to his family, they said in a statement, "We are heartbroken by the tragic loss of our beloved son and brother. Matthew brought so much joy to the world, both as an actor and as a friend." Obviously, he struggled with addiction for decades, which he wrote about in his 2022 memoir titled Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. In addition to alcohol, he became addicted to painkillers. Following a 1997 jet ski accident, he wrote in his memoir that he had been sober since 2001, excluding 60 or 70 relapses.
Yeah.
So he had a sense of humor when he was writing about that, obviously. But he overcame that, and he had the Perry's house and everything. He was trying to help as many people with addiction issues as he could throughout his recovery.
I don't think that was a joke. He said he went through withdrawal 60 times.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, it might have been it's saying that it was, that he had been sober since. Yeah. But 60 or 70 relapses.
Oh, got it.
He was joking in that regard. But yeah, legit, he was, seriously, he had a real bad problem.
So you remember when the stories first started coming out about in the book, and he was talking about going to open houses in and around Hollywood to kind of raid the medicine cabinets of homes. And that's how bad it had gotten. To be honest, it wasn't a massive gut punch. I thought it was very sad. There were so many times I thought he was out.
I wasn't
There were so many
shocked.
times. Yeah.
I was very sad about it because I also loved him, but I was like, this is just like kind of what I thought might happen.
Wow.
So, some sort of death.
It just seemed like he had actually started to get traction though, and was actually in the right place.
He talked recently in an interview, and I think it was with People Magazine, and Kathy, he said that exact phrase. He says, when I die, people might be surprised, but they won't be shocked. And he was referring to his own death, and this was within the last year that he was out promoting the book. And so, he had this awareness of his issues, his troubles.
I thought because of the book and all this that this was so far, I mean, and probably this was just a tragic accident and not addiction related. I don't really know, but, I thought maybe after that book that this is a new part, a rebirth for him, and he was going to have a wonderful rest of his life,
So Lisa Kudrow had said something where she thought perhaps he was in this hot tub and maybe he had something, and not trying to say that he OD'd or something she's just being speculative, but it shows you that all the group of that friends group were so supportive of him and his quest for sobriety.
Yeah. So we were talking about it on Saturday night when this all went down, that he had. It appears that he had some sort of cardiac event which led to his drowning, and that is. I don't want to say it happens quite often, but when there is a drowning for somebody in their 50s, right? And there was no apparent head trauma or anything like that, where they were knocked out. That generally speaking, the drowning occurred because of some sort of cardiac event.
No, that's what you look at. I mean, and look at Whitney Houston too, and her daughter. I mean, both died in water.
Yeah, but that can happen. Yeah, if you're alone and you're in a pool, a hot tub, a bathtub, or whatever, and you have a cardiac event, you can't get out. It can happen very quickly.
He had a wild hot tub. His whole setup there was cool. He has or had the bat symbol at the bottom of the pool. He was a huge Batman fan, and he had just posted on Instagram, I think it was just right before this happened.
So his friends, co-star Maggie Wheeler, who played his on-again, off-again fiancée Janice on the hit show, shared a sweet tribute on Instagram, writing, "What a loss. The world will miss you, Matthew Perry. The joy you brought so many to your short lifetime will live on. I feel so very blessed by every creative moment that we shared." Gwyneth Paltrow, who had a brief fling with him in the early acting days, according to his memoir, shared a touching tribute to him that further detailed their short-lived romance. In an Instagram post, she wrote, "I met Matthew Perry in 1993 at the Williamstown Theater Festival in Massachusetts. We were both there for the most of the summer doing plays. He was so funny and so sweet and so much fun to be with. We drove out to swim in creeks, had beers in the local college bar, kissed in a field of long grass. It was a magical summer. He had shot the pilot of Friends, but it had not yet aired, and he was nervous, hoping his big break was just around the corner, and it was." She said, "We stayed friends for a while until we drifted apart, but I was always happy to see him when I did. I'm super sad today, as so many of us are. I hope Matthew is at peace at long last. I really do." His TV mom, Morgan Fairchild.
Yes.
She wrote, "I am heartbroken about the untimely death of my son." She put in parentheses, Matthew Perry. "Loss of such a brilliant young actor is a shock. I am sending love and condolences to his friends and family, especially his dad, who I worked with on Flamingo Road and on Falcon Crest as well." And a bunch of people, obviously, as you can imagine, posted tributes.
So, his stepdad is Keith Morrison from Dateline. Yeah, so that I didn't realize, and they had apparently had a really good friendship towards the end. But because I'm looking at pictures, I'm going, "That's Keith Morrison. Why is he?" And then I had no idea that they were, basically family. We have a load of clips. I don't know if you want to go through some of them now.
Sure, here's a couple right now. This is a montage of the "Could I Be Any More" clips. Here we go.
Please, could she be more out of my league?
Could you want her more?
Okay, could that report be any later?
Yes! Could that shot be any prettier? Look at me. I'm Chandler. Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Could we be more white trash?
Could I be any more turned on?
Could I be more sorry?
And then, of course, his sarcastic, his sarcasm was laser sharp.
Yeah, absolutely, and he delivered it brilliantly.
And here's a few of the sarcasm clips.
I'm not great at the advice. Can I interest you in a sarcastic comment?
That was my bathing suit from high school. I was a little bigger then.
Oh, I thought that's what they used to cover Connecticut when it rained. Anybody know a good tailor?
You need some clothes altered?
No. I'm just looking for a man to draw on me with chalk.
All right, when was 1990?
You have to stop the Q-tip when there's resistance.
Ducks is heads because ducks have heads.
What kind of scary-ass clowns came to your birthday?
I went to that tanning place your wife suggested.
Was that place the Sun?
Marissa pulled over the clip of him talking about people not being, about people being shocked. You go ahead, Casey, but not surprised by his death. Here is that clip.
I say in the book that if I did die, it would shock people, but it wouldn't surprise anybody. And that's what I'm doing with writing this book. That's why I wanted to do it. I wanted to just talk about the highs and the lows, because people are suffering out there. And maybe if they hear a story from somebody they've seen on TV that's worse than theirs or just the same as theirs, they'll be filled with hope, which is the key thing.
Oh, man.
That's so sad.
So they had that Friends anniversary special on HBO Max, and he got emotional during that, and we have a clip of him on that.
Okay, here we go.
The best way that I can describe it is after the show was over, if one of us bumped into each other, that was it. That was the end of the night. You just
Sat with that
sat with the person all night long.
I remember that.
And that was it. You apologized to the people you were with, but they had to understand you had met somebody special to you, and you were going to talk to that person for the rest of the night. And that's the way...
I'm not laughing, I'm crying, because it's so true.
That's the way it works. Yeah, I'm going to cry now.
Good.
Damn. Wow. In this clip, he talks about how he'd like to be remembered. Here we go.
I would like to be remembered as somebody who lived well, loved well, was a seeker, and his paramount thing is that he wants to help people. That's what I want.
Oh, man. 54 years old, way too
Very
early.
sad.
Yeah.
And Friends was sort of a cornerstone for a lot of people, the whole generation. I mean, it was wildly popular, and it was tied into people of a certain age group.
Well, I think it bridges generations too, Steve. I mean, I started watching it when I was 18 or 19 and loved it for as long as it was on. And towards the end of it, I kind of drifted away a little bit. But my girlfriend's a little younger than I am, and so she started watching it towards the end. And so it kind of bridges her generation and my generation. And the fact that it's lived in reruns and syndication for as long as that it has, it is kind of like The Office or Seinfeld or these shows that just become timeless.
Yep. So sad news about that. And maybe we'll find out more about why he passed at such an early age. I have a couple other quick stories we'll get to. Magic Johnson has been declared a billionaire by Forbes, making him only the fourth athlete to join that exclusive club.
So he just announced Jordan had become a billionaire, right?
Yeah, he's one of them.
Right.
The business magazine estimates that Johnson's wealth about $1.2 billion. The other athlete billionaires, like Steve said, Michael Jordan, also LeBron James and Tiger Woods. And those are the only ones.
Wow.
Apparently.
I mean, right, so not
probably
even
only American.
Okay, I was wondering about
but
soccer players.
It just says it says only the fourth athlete to join the club.
Wow.
So I don't know if
All
these are just Americans or not, Case, but I was assuming the same
I
thing.
thought Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya with their
they've got some
companies,
serious cash, that's for sure. But
Well,
at least by this accounting, they haven't crossed over to the billion mark.
Well, where he's made his money has been in investments.
Yeah.
It's not from the sports. I mean, obviously he took that seed and went with that.
I mean, the bulk of the billion, they say, for Magic Johnson, Preston, came from his talk show. That it generated so much revenue.
So he has investments in numerous companies, including ownership stakes in various sports teams. But Forbes says that his stake in a life insurance company holds most of his wealth.
There you go.
The 64-year-old had one of the most iconic careers in NBA history before retiring in '96, but it was outside of sport where he made most of his money. Forbes states that Johnson made $40 million in his NBA career. He has ownership stakes in 3 Los Angeles-based sports teams, including the Dodgers. Outside of sports, he has investments in Starbucks, Burger King, 24-Hour Fitness, and life insurance company Equitrust.
It's amazing. You know, you find that one thing. For us, example, we became billionaires through Bassett's Ice Cream.
That's right.
We did.
And that's how it became so lucrative for us.
Johnson says that he could have become a billionaire sooner had he not turned down shares in Nike when he was entering the NBA in the 1970s. He took a deal with Converse, which offered him $100,000 a year instead.
Imagine being able to say the words, I could have become a billionaire sooner.
Yeah. So my family, he said, didn't come from money. That's one thing that hurt us sometimes when you don't know, when you don't come from money, you don't know. I didn't even know what stocks were at that time. So he said, so I passed on the stocks. Can you imagine? 45 years, $5 billion that stock would have been worth today.
I have stocks right now, and I still don't know what they are.
Nick, you're pulling up a list here of the...
Yeah, but this is earnings, so I'm not sure if that actually qualifies them currently as billionaires. But Tiger's number one with 1.72, then Cristiano Ronaldo, the soccer player, he's 1.24 bill, then LeBron.
Sergeant Slaughter in there anywhere?
He's not. Nope.
He's not?
Lionel Messi is at 1.15 billion, Roger Federer.
Federer, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Floyd Mayweather at 1.08, and then Steve Sergeant Slaughter. But
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, 900 million.
Well, okay.
900 million man, that's Sergeant Slaughter.
Interesting.
Well, he did a lot of slaughtering.
Yes.
So Magic Johnson, a billionaire. On Saturday Night Live, Christopher Walken made a surprise cameo. Not only did the 80-year-old Walken appear alongside Mikey Day's President Joe Biden as the spirit of Halloween in the episode's cold open, but he was also given the opportunity to fix a past mispronunciation. It was in February of 2003. He was a hosting gig. He came back into the spotlight when the star's mispronunciation of musical guest Foo Fighters, went viral following Dave Grohl's hilarious retelling of the incident. So that's how he had said it. But Nate Bargatze was the host. He stepped aside because typically the host is one who introduces the musical talent, and he let Christopher Walken do the final and to finally perfect his pronunciation of Foo Fighters on the SNL stage. So what you got, Case?
That's the clip of it if you wanted to play it or not.
Sure, where is it?
On the Box Pro, right there.
Okay, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters.
There you
So
go.
kinda, Because he still, instead of going Foo Fighters, he goes Foo Fighters instead of Foo Fighters. He still can't help it. Giving a little bit more emphasis, just the way he speaks.
That's baked into Christopher Walken. That's the way he talks.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let's see. You guys want to hear how some of the stars celebrated Halloween over the weekend?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because in many ways, they're just like us. Yeah.
It was Halloween party weekend.
Yes.
I saw a few people out and about in costumes.
Man. I was in the city on Saturday night, and they were everywhere.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. So both Jessica Alba and Paris Hilton dressed up as Britney Spears.
Kudos for both outfits. They look pretty good.
That was for the Casamigos Halloween party on Friday night. And this is following the release of the singer's memoir. Each wore a different look from her Toxic music video, by the way. Kourtney Kardashian took the copying theme from her feud with Kim to a whole new level, mirroring Kim's 2013 appearance at the Met Gala. Freaky Friday, Kourtney captioned an Instagram post that showed her wearing the same floral dress that Kim wore to the event when she was also pregnant with North. Kourtney is currently 9 months pregnant with her fourth child, so they did that, which totally would have gone over my head.
It would have completely gone over my head.
I don't get it.
But you know they do. They have a staff of people that help with their Halloween costumes.
Of course
together.
they do.
So they're not going to the.
They're not going to Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, right. Exactly. What do you got?
Halle Bailey transformed into Janet Jackson's character from the 1993 film Poetic Justice. Tiana Taylor became Marlon Wayans' character from Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
And it looked really good.
Meanwhile, Keke Palmer became the Bride of Frankenstein and dressed her 8-month-old son, Leo, as Henry Frankenstein from the 1939 film. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly attended the Casamigos Halloween party. They dressed as assassins from Kill Bill. Fox shared a photo of herself in the costume and tagged SAG-AFTRA on her Instagram, defying the union's Halloween costume rules as the strike continues. And on Saturday, Zoe Kravitz and Channing Tatum channeled the 1968 horror film Rosemary's Baby at Kendall Jenner's Halloween party. She emulated Mia Farrow's character from the movie while he was dressed like a baby with bonnet and all. So they played off of that on that particular night.
Not everyone took that SAG thing where they said, they'd prefer you not dress as iconic Hollywood characters to heart, because a number of them did. So there you go.
Yeah, they poked some fun on it on Saturday Night Live. Sarah Sherman turned into SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher on the show, making fun of the union's rules about the costumes. And she had stood with some kids and said, "I'm here to teach you how to do Halloween during a strike." She had said that Harry Potter, as described only in the book, or minor characters from the Bible. And then she explains the strike to kids, saying, "Negotiating with the studios is a lot like trick-or-treating. You know that you go to the biggest house on the block and all the lights are off and their parents, they're pretending not to be home, but you can see them through the window eating Kit Kat bars, dozens of Kit Kat bars, billions of Kit Kat bars, record numbers of Kit Kat bars, and all the actors are saying is, break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar." So she had some fun with that, poking fun at her. On Saturday, Variety published an interview with Meg Ryan just ahead of the release of her forthcoming film, What Happens Later. When asked if she felt like she was pigeonholed by the rom-com genre, she told the outlet, "If I was, I'm not resentful about it." She said, "I've done more than 30 movies and maybe only 7 of them are rom-coms. And I was trying to do other genres and it didn't really work," she said.
She did okay. She had her moments, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, she's built for rom-coms. That's her thing.
Absolutely. All right, and then one more story, and then we will wrap it up. Let's go with this. Elizabeth Banks is proud of going au naturel in Hollywood.
So am I.
She told Us Weekly in a recent interview, "Nothing's ever gone in here, you can tell," meaning, fillers and stuff like that. She said, "And that's because my self-esteem is really high. I try to focus on my confidence and less about how I look." So she's had no work done.
I wonder if she's going to. So she's. I wonder if she's going to be directing more and acting less, because directing is clearly her. She did Cocaine Bear, which was a decent hit, and has been She directed one of the Pitch Perfect movies.
Yeah. She definitely knows what she's doing. So, all right, we're ready to hit the clips here. Neon follows 3 friends who moved from a small town in Florida to Miami with the hopes of making it big in the world of reggaeton.
Reggaeton?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Music?
so
Music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reggaeton,
Don't know
yeah.
reggaeton. What is it? Do tell.
It's
Enlighten
like,
the old man.
It's like reggae meets
Is that Bad?
South African beats.
Is that the Bad Bunny kind
A
of?
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like reggae meets Megatron.
Reggae.
Right.
Okay, that
Reggaeton.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So
It has a
here,
robotic transformer feel to it.
director Oz Rodriguez talks about the importance of music in this show to enhance the storyline. Here we go.
It's a show about a musician, a kid who wants to make it. And we had to get those songs right. So, we enlisted Tiny, who is a world-class superstar who makes beats for, Bad Bunny. So, to have him on board, too, was wild.
What the hell are you talking about?
It is evolved from dancehall. Now, dancehall,
There you go.
I know, with elements of hip-hop, Latin America, and Caribbean music. There you go.
You and I, when we came on the scene, we were known for crunking. So that was our,
Crunk is life. Neon is now available on Netflix,
But
by
the
the way.
kids these days,
They got their own thing.
Yeah.
Freelance is about a former Special Forces operative who reluctantly takes on a freelance gig to provide private security for a washed-up journalist as she interviews a ruthless dictator. In this clip, director Pierre Morel discusses casting John Cena as the main role.
He's hilarious in life. He has a sense of humor, which is fantastic. But he also has that capacity, which I didn't know much about being some kind of fragility to him. It's like he can be a broken guy and can be very sensible. And so he was the perfect choice. He was the perfect guy right away.
I prematurely hit the button.
You can watch Freelance in theaters now if you'd like to. All right, and there you go. That's the last bit of info I have for you in the entertainment report, friends.
It's a little sad, but you had to.
Yeah, it was sad news led for sure. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a moment. Hopefully we have some daylight as we are going to have cloudy skies this morning beginning on one of the last days of October. Guests on the show, stuff to give away. Yep, we got all that. We'll take a break and come back in a moment, tell you about it. Stay with us. Were last night. How about all of that? So yeah, they had a red carpet and the full deal. The documentary feature went to My Octopus Teacher.
Yay!
It's been mentioned several times on the show, so wanted to throw that in there. Accepting was the octopus. And there was no wrap-up music. He just kept sucking and clicking and doing that whole thing for a long time. So,
Is that him walking up?
Suction cups, yeah.
That's him walking up to the podium. It was awkward, but listen, I mean, he was the star of the film. So.
It is a hell of a movie if you get a chance to see it. Think of a nomad land, but with sea creatures.
They really should have put the octopus in the in memoriam section. I don't know why they didn't.
Did he die?
Well, he's an octopus. I mean, the movie came out like 2 years ago.
How long does your average octopus live?
I'll bet
the length of a documentary movie.
I'll bet they live longer than you think.
No,
they don't. They live like a year.
They don't.
Really? Yeah, watch the movie.
Oh,
Wait,
you saw it too, Kathy?
Yeah,
I saw the
it's
movie
great.
and I don't remember that shocking piece of
That's
news.
sad.
What?
Poor thing.
All right,
well,
I'm
maybe
gonna
it was a
check
thing.
it out.
3 to 5 years.
3 to 5
All right,
years.
see, they're already getting longer lives.
See, he
One-
could still
1 year.
He could have accepted the award.
I wouldn't have wasted time with this dickhead then if I was an octopus. I got a little living to do, baby.
All right, Yolanda Hadid
I know Yolanda.
is in love with. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
In love with her daughter Gigi Hadid's daughter Kai.
So she loves her granddaughter?
She does.
Oh, my
Steve.
God.
I told
So
you.
who got the scoop on this
The
one?
news is big here this morning.
Wow.
Don't go to press yet.
Yeah.
I've got something.
She shared a tribute.
Yolanda Hadid, granddaughter.
Breaking news.
She,
Do you have a source that can confirm this? I'm not going with this unless you have corroboration.
well, they heard from an octopus that actually.
In a parking garage.
Yeah.
The octopus was in the shadows, but.
I have it on good authority that Yolanda Hadid lives her granddaughter.
Oh my God.
Will you go on record with that?
You people who don't want this information out.
Oh my God.
He's scared, man.
I'm very scared.
And then he just walked away. That's my new favorite thing. The octopus walking away. In a cavernous room with lots of reverb so you can hear it.
I can see you're an octopus. Even in shadow.
He's got a trench coat on.
He doesn't even need a trench coat. He's got like this amazing camouflage.
Listen, he's running now. Oh, man. Yeah, Casey, he just blends in with the floor.
Blends in.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. A dove formerly owned by Prince has passed away.
Yeah. Well, he was big into the doves when doves cry.
Of course. But I didn't know that he had, well, this particular dove was named Divinity.
Yeah.
Female white dove owned by Prince. She died on Tuesday following a recent decline in her health due to her age. She was 28 years old.
That is an exceptionally old dove.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a cat that lived to 22, and that seemed like an eternity for a pet lifespan.
Yes.
But listen, I know that some birds, like African grays and so on, can live for like 80 years.
Absolutely.
But
They usually outlive their owners.
But I didn't think a dove had that kind of a shelf life, for lack of a better
I bathed
term.
in the purifying waters of Lake Minnetonka. And
That must have been
what
what
I
did it.
attribute my longevity to.
Well, longevity for divinity.
Following Prince's death in 2016, Divinity remained at his Paisley Park and could be seen during the tours of his former estate.
Divinity conducted the tours.
According to the executive director of the Paisley Park tours, said Divinity's beautiful coo has welcomed visitors since Paisley Park first opened its gates to the public in October 2016. She was one of the enduring links to Prince for thousands of fans. She will be missed.
I would love to go to Paisley Park.
Me too.
I read there was a really fascinating article. Prince started writing an autobiography, and he hired a writer to help him write it. And so a year or so before he died, the writing process began, and then the writer spent a lot of time in Paisley Park. And I've gained so much more of an appreciation for Prince after his death, which makes me feel guilty for some weird reason. But just everything that went into Paisley Park and his life is really amazing.
I was just watching a replay of yesterday of him at the Super Bowl when he did the halftime. It was awesome.
Yeah, and his version, along with Danny Harrison and Tom Petty of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" from Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony years ago, is just unbelievably great.
The outside of Paisley Park looks like a
school or
yeah. You would not. You would have no idea.
What I haven't seen are pictures of the inside.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's like a modern Graceland. Like it's Prince through and through.
Our old boss has been to parties there, Jim McGuinn, because he's a program director in Minneapolis, and that's where it is.
That's cool.
So yeah, I would
elevator inside and all the whole deal.
So in addition to Divinity, Prince also owned a dove named Majesty, which, according to reports, were quiet. Both of them were quiet in the immediate days following his death, but they perked up after hearing his music.
I don't want to talk.
And a new generation of doves will continue to live on.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry. I'm gonna throw up.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds
When
like.
doves cry.
Yeah, they were upset about Prince's death.
I swear to God, I'm gonna throw up.
Oh my God! Hey, are doves the same things as pigeons?
No,
no,
they're
Not
related.
even close.
They are related.
Yeah, they're in the same bird family.
That's what I mean.
If you look at their license, there's a delineation.
Okay.
My dad and I used to go dove hunting regularly. We used to blast those things out of the sky.
Dude, I mean, come on.
We'd eat them.
I know, but still, it's like puppy hunting. You know? It's so nice and cute and peaceful.
They're different than the ones that you see. They're,
Okay.
they're,
Yeah,
the gray colored
They kill
ones.
families.
Okay.
Yes.
They are all
he
tatted
was
up.
doing service to the families of Kentucky.
They are literally the symbol for peace, however.
Yes.
I was completely eaten by a dove today. Anyone kill them for us.
Son, we got work to do.
We beat it to death with an olive branch.
I have a hair change story that
That's a cool sound effect.
After splitting from her fiance, Dale Moss, Bachelorette alum Claire Crawley is ready for love and a new pink hairdo.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I saw it.
Yeah?
I've not seen it.
It's not over the top.
It's not crazy hot
It's
pink.
light. She says she wanted to show that she could do something crazy.
Okay.
As we observed, everything she's done shows she can do something crazy.
Oh, you're right. It's a nice pink. It's like an ombre.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She didn't go. I was thinking like shocking. Like Katy Perry when she had super pink hair. Anyway.
Getting the tattoo of Florida on her forehead.
Did you see that guy?
I did.
Yes. He's got a tattoo of the state right on his forehead.
Ridiculous.
All righty, buddy. Source tells us she sees her time spent with Dale as something of her past and is ready to move forward.
It helped me to learn about myself.
So she has pink hair now.
Okay, the ombre's good. I kind of prefer the Ganon, bro.
What's the Ganon?
Come on.
Ganon, bro.
Keep going. Do it. Finish it.
I'm not finishing
Come on.
It's Ganon, bro. I like the up dog. Personally.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Here's the tattoo of the Florida, by the way.
That looks good.
I
Man,
love it.
what is going on?
I know. We have a monitor that's normally in front of us. It doesn't work, and I can't see the photos when they come up. But yes, that's just brilliant. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama went to Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday. And overall best motion picture drama went to Nomadland. So there you go. That's our first foray into a very strange awards year.
It was. You know what was one of the weirder things, Preston? At certain points when they were going into a commercial and they had the nominees, they'd put the nominees up and they'd bring up their microphones so that they could sort of like talk and like. And there was, did you see Case? I don't know, because there was a point where Pacino was up for something and they were all, hi, Mr. Pacino, I'm a big fan of yours. And there's this cross talk. It's not, no one was overseeing it. It was just like you were listening in on a Zoom call.
Wait, so the crosstalk was between the fellow nominees?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they did that a couple times. If they ever do this again, they should not do that again.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right?
It's very weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is something supposed to be happening?
What was great, though, is when Soul won for best, I think it was best animated. Who do you call it? Tracy Morgan pronounced it as Saul, right? He goes, and the winner is, and he goes, Saul. And then there was no reaction because there was no movie called Saw.
Right.
And then he realized that he had made the mistake. And then they had cut to the, it was for best original song. But either way, the actors, it was Sudeikis, it was the people that were up for the next award.
Right.
They were having a ball with it. They were cracking up. Don Cheadle was making fun of them, and it was really, really.
I think Pacino didn't realize that he was still on the Zoom call because he was standing in the doorway pleasuring himself.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh no, you
How
don't do
awkward
that.
is
It
that?
feels so good.
Right.
Well, I didn't see that clip. But I did see. I saw a clip.
I'm gonna shout!
Oh my God!
Splat.
All over my walls and when my children play with their toys. You were expecting something like that. There were a few people who clearly were not quite up to speed on the tech.
I'm gonna shoot over here.
That was good.
Oh man!
Right after that.
Yes. Sorry, Nick.
No. This is also comedic. He fell asleep.
What?
Did he?
Yeah.
Was he asleep on camera, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, don't you usually fall asleep right afterwards?
Everybody's sleepy, and you've expanded yourself. So the camera pans across his screen, and listen, his eyes are closed, and he looks like he might have not actually have been asleep, but he looked like he was sleepy.
That was so much fun pleasuring myself.
Oh no, the poor guy. Getting old.
I don't feel so good.
That's hilarious.
I'll rub one out.
So, according to a new survey presented by the Water Quality and Health Council, 51% of Americans reported using a swimming pool as a communal bathtub, using the pool as an alternative to showering or rinsing off after engaging in exercise or yard work or whatever it may be. Even though 64% of Americans know that pool chemicals don't eliminate the need to shower. People continue to do it anyway. By the way, the survey.
WMMR.
Thank you very much, Kath. So we've entered into cuffing season.
Yes.
What? That started. Cuffing season, where you get a relationship just for the holidays or something like that. So that's I guess it's the thing. I don't know if it is really or not, but you hear that it is, and people will kind of do it so they have somebody to receive a gift from and give a gift to and go through the holidays and go to parties and things like that.
I've heard people admit to doing that.
Yeah.
I've heard people that I know admit to doing that just because they don't want to go through the holiday season alone.
So while you're thinking about that, you may want to consider this list. Nick came across this, and it was starting to go viral across social media, and it's compiled by women across social media, deeming which places they refuse to go to on a first date.
So this would be like they call the ick factor. This
I guess
so. This would be sort of in that realm.
Yeah.
Which is like an indicator that this person may not be somebody you're going to be a long term with.
But I'm looking at this list, and then there's 28 things.
It's everywhere.
It's where else are you going to go?
It's literally every place you could ever possibly go.
But I guess it ranks it in order of its ickiness. I don't know.
What was your go-to first date location? Usually,
it would depend on the type of person,
right?
But just going to dinner as a general rule was a way to meet somebody.
For me, it was always a tractor pull. To me, it seems to be. It's got all the elements. It leads to good conversation.
First date for Rochelle and I took her to a Blues hockey game.
There you go.
Yes.
Now. The thing is, do you want something where you are both participating in an event that sort of fosters communication or conversation? Or an obvious is when you're having dinner, you are sitting down facing each other, but then again, you're eating.
Right.
So that can be problematic sometimes if you're a slob.
Oddly enough, and this is the woman I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, I didn't care. I just want to go to a hockey game.
Wow.
I just want to go to the Blues
Well, there you
game.
go.
I kind of like that.
But here's the thing I found out about that night is she's getting ready. She was set to go, and I don't know if I picked her up or she met me. I've forgotten. But anyhow, she was, as Rochelle is, very girly, so she was done up to the nines.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a jersey
Yeah.
and a hat.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
And I'm like, that's not how you dress when you go to a hockey game. You dress like this, man.
I'm going to try to catch a puck in my mouth.
Totally. And we were kind of mismatched from the start with that, but it ended up being perfect. So oddly enough, on this list, it's got the 28 places that women would refuse to go to on a first date. Number 28, the final one, sports events.
Sports events.
Yeah, which I found kind of interesting.
It's weird when they gather data like this because a sporting event to me would seem, especially like a baseball game or something.
But I guess since this ranks low on the list, maybe that's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That because number 27 then is Waffle House.
That I can agree with.
Well, waffles are good.
Yeah, but as a date,
right.
That's probably not
I
a
need
good
to
idea.
know something about you. Are you a waffle woman?
I guess it depends. As the person who is asked the other person out on the date and is making the arrangements, it depends on what kind of a tone you're trying to set. Because Waffle House might be kind of a jokey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It also might be legitimate. I don't know.
I think here's your approach to the Waffle House. Do you see every little square in that waffle? You're the butter. I want to fill those. Like, seduce her that way.
But I mean, instead of trying to wow this person and overdo it, you instead go to Waffle House.
Or, rather than
You're saying
trying
it's kitschy, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but instead of trying to pretend that you're something that you're not, why take somebody to the most fanciest, expensive restaurant ever
when that's not you?
and when that's not you?
Yeah.
How
I
about
agree.
this case?
Yeah.
You rent a limo and you take them to Golden Corral.
You could do
Yeah.
that.
There you go. You have the dichotomy of the two.
Right. So whatever that aspect is.
So what I can't figure out is I guess this goes 1 through 28, and I guess 1 is the ickiest place that people wouldn't. Is that how you would take it?
That's how I read it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the one who sent this to me. So why don't we start with number 1? Then?
All right, number 1, what people consider the ickiest place.
I went to the bottom with sports events.
All right.
Now we'll go to the top. And number 1 on this list of places that women will refuse to go on a first date. This is women saying.
So this is the ickiest?
This is the ickiest.
Okay,
According to this list from women.
All right.
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. And what's weird about this list is the first, I think, top 5 or 6 are very specific, and then
they get vague.
And then they get vague, like a sporting event.
So why does Cheesecake Factory earn the ire of so many women?
I don't know.
Now,
I don't know.
Is it because it's usually associated with gluttony?
Maybe, or it's you got
to wait an hour and a half.
Yeah, you have to wait.
You have to have that little globe, that medallion that goes off when your table's ready.
I guess. I don't really know. Well, number 2.
I have never eaten at a Cheesecake Factory, though I've had Cheesecake Factory food.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Number 2 on this list is, and I'll concur with this, Applebee's.
Yes, your favorite.
Yeah, my favorite.
I'm not here for the Applebee's slander. I listen. I'm not saying that it's Laurel or Zahav or anything like that. But I've never had a bad time at Applebee's.
Okay.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because it's feeling good in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Casey's a neighborhood kind of guy.
I'm a neighborhood.
And he's always feeling good. So those two things go together well.
And don't they have Dollaritas there now?
By the way,
do
they
have
have
Dollaritas.
Dollaritas, and they have what I consider top-level nachos and potato skins.
Yeah.
So Applebee's is number 2. Number 3 is Chili's.
Again.
Chili's.
Baby back ribs.
Casey made us go to Chili's one time, remember?
It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't.
Is Chili's the one where they bring out the
It's a chain-
fajitas?
It's a chain
They bring out
restaurant.
fajitas at a lot of places.
We were just
It's a
going
chain
there
restaurant.
for.
It's like the same thing as like TGI Fridays.
Yes. Yeah.
If you like that type of food and drink, like why would it? I don't know.
It's in
I
that.
feel like it depends on who you are.
If you like diarrhea, I think that's it, right?
It does depend on who you are, exactly. All right, number 4 on the list is Chipotle.
These are
That's
all.
not a date location.
Yeah,
no,
that's
that's
not a
fast
date-
food.
right.
Agreed.
That's like taking someone in Wendy's.
It's fast casual. It's a
Right,
notch
yeah.
up from Wendy's, but it's it's not date.
That's a lunch. Like that's a lunch date.
It's like taking a date to a hot dog stand.
Okay, so what if it's just the second part of the date where the actual date itself is we're going to go for a nice little walk in nature and then let's go grab a quick little bite at Chipotle.
You close the deal at Chipotle.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No?
What about Qdoba?
Well, if you're going out on a nice little nature walk with this
Unless
new
it's
guy,
lunch. If it's lunch.
and then after the walk is over, Kathy,
Yeah.
the guy says to you, hey, you want to go grab a quick bite to eat? And Chipotle's right there.
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah, if it's lunch, that literally lunch is my.
Let's arrange succulents.
It has to be a lunch date.
Okay.
All right, wait. Let me go to Barbara. She wants to chime in real quick. Hi, Barbara. Good morning.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. What's up, Barb?
Okay, so I had a blind date once that was at Bennigan's, which is dating myself.
Yeah.
But it was set up by our hairdresser, a mutual hairdresser. Anyhow, the guy, shows up. We meet there and everything. I had to pay half the bill. And he didn't even leave a tip. Like I had to leave the tip.
That's not a date.
So no. That was a nightmare. Is what that was.
Yeah. It was. And then he called me back like a month later and wanted to know if I wanted to go out again. And I was like, no, I can't afford it.
You take me out to places like Bennigan's? What do you think? I'm made of money?
Yeah. And then it says here you had a second date.
My
A different one.
best first date was with my husband, now. And we went to a hockey game like you guys did.
Look at that. So the hockey game wins and Bennigan's doesn't.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
Do you remember if you got the broccoli bites at Bennigan's? Or?
By the way, Bennigan's used to be okay.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the broccoli bites were amazing. No, so there was one that was on the way down the shore because we talked about them not that long ago, and there was one. It was right off of Route 55, somewhere near Vineland.
I haven't seen them in years.
It just closed.
Really?
Yeah, it closed within the last
What
year.
about Ground
or whatever.
Rounds?
I don't know.
Ground Rounds? Ground Rounds and Bennigan's sat at the same level for me.
Here's a text says, talking about Cheesecake Factory. I proposed to my ex-wife at Cheesecake Factory.
See what happened there?
See what happened there. All right, other ones on this list. Number 5 is Olive Garden. And then we're going to get out of the foods for a moment. Yeah. Because then you fall into number 6, place that they would refuse to go for a first date, the movies.
Oh, that was my first date.
Okay.
Dinner and a movie.
Because it's not really a way to get to know somebody. You're sitting there quiet next to each other.
Honestly, I really wanted to see Deadpool. And Andrea was like, okay. And then so
Wait a minute.
Dinner afterwards.
So, in the beginning of the movie, in the dialogue, he goes, I know what's happening here. Your boyfriend brought you to this movie and said it's a love story or something like that.
That's correct.
Oh, that's funny. That must have been kind of very humorous.
And somehow it worked.
So
you can do the old popcorn trick, too.
I think dinner and a movie, that can work out well.
That's a date, right?
That's a date.
Listen, that is
just a movie is sitting in silence, and so I think that's not a good. I think if you pair the two, especially if you can. Now it doesn't usually work out this way, where you go the movie and then the dinner, because after the movie you can talk about the movie while you're at dinner.
Right.
But, it's usually pretty late. You'd have to go to an early.
I agree. You have to do the combo. Just doing a movie, you're not. There's no room for conversation.
Right.
All right, number 7 on this list. Place that women refuse to go to for a first date. Your house.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Right.
Meaning their house?
Make dinner for somebody, bring them over?
I guess so.
All right. That's a little creepy.
Not on the first date.
Right.
That's a little trap. You know what I mean?
I got to show you my cool lotion rig in the basement.
Totally. Yeah.
You're going to love this. So if you're at the bottom of the pit, I can still lower lotion down to you.
Number 8 on this list is any fast food chain. Yeah.
Well, that's
as a
kind of
date?
It's
Yes.
not a date.
But that's kind of like a lot of the chain restaurants are on that list too, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Then you have on this one, number 9, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, they're more like they're a sports bar, are they not?
They are.
Right.
Wings, period. Don't eat wings on a date.
Yeah. They're messy.
How do you like your wings?
Yeah.
You could be like Pat Egan down the hall. He eats wings wearing rubber gloves. I kid you not. He has a box of latex gloves and he eats wings with them on.
What the hell is that?
He's one of the weirdest kids I've ever met.
My brother would not be married today if his wife saw him eat wings on a first date.
Is he just gnarly?
It's like I don't even know what's happening sometimes.
It's like gnawing on roadkill.
But he doesn't wipe his hands off until the very end. So and he picks up his drink like this to take a sip of water.
Kathy's showing you're picking up the cup with his wrist.
Yeah, with his wrist, and he takes a sip of water and puts it down. He thinks it's a waste if you clean in between.
Man.
So he eats from start to finish.
Will he
and then washes.
Put the whole wing in his mouth and drag all the meat off with his teeth like that?
I've seen people do that.
You know what?
I've done it.
I don't think he does that. I don't know unless they're a certain size. Maybe he can get the full thing in there. I don't know.
I kind of appreciate the lack that he doesn't want to waste any of the wing sauce.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, that speaks to me.
Then you have after Buffalo Wild Wings, which is number 9. Then you have Wingstop, number 10.
So the wings. Wings are not a hit on a first date.
Wingstop is more of a takeout place.
Yes,
too.
it is. Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings at least is
You sit
nice.
down. You
You might have a
lounge.
candle on the table.
Right, yeah.
Then you have Red Lobster.
Do me a favor. Put this diamond ring in one of the wings.
Gonna propose at Wingstop. Red Lobster is number 11. Then you have a buffet.
A buffet.
On as number
Golden Corral.
12. So
I think that just speaks that you're kind of being cheap. Like, hey, let's go get all you can eat.
Let me tell you what.
On a first date.
Get the main, and I'm going to throw in 2 apps.
So before you do
unlimited bread pudding,
before you ask someone on a date, should you, let's say there's somebody you don't know very much about, should you ask them and say, what would you like to do? Or do you need to have the idea presented?
I think at least Kathy, and you can answer this, and Marissa, I think a woman might appreciate someone who has kind of curated the evening and has something in mind, right? In other words, right? Somebody suggests a place rather than what do
you want to do?
Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, you can find out what they like. You know what I mean? Like,
how are you with wings?
Yeah,
well, if they show a little initiative, Steve, that's what you mean. Yeah.
Now, I don't ever wipe the wing sauce off my hands. Is that going to be a problem?
I'm going to go to, hang on a second here. Let's go to Leela. Hi, Leela. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Welcome, Leela. What's up?
What's up, guys? So I just wanted to say, I'm in my first year of my current relationship. The first date that we went to was the Flyers game.
All right.
Okay.
and it was the best game I ever been to besides the ones I went to with my dad.
Aw.
And how was it as a date? Were you guys able, was it a magical evening, or was it, rate the date, rate the first date at the Flyers hockey game?
Well, there were a couple of fights, so I think it was a pretty good date.
Okay.
Yeah, but see, that's the type of person. She's a Flyers fan.
right,
She's
yeah.
a hockey fan, so that works.
Did you guys make sweet, sweet love at the end of the date?
Oh, no, this was just the first date. Not
Yeah, it was the second one.
I don't know. You're a hockey chick.
We got into a scrum. Yeah.
Our next date was actually to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If you went to Buffalo Wild Wing, you got the Troika.
Yeah, when did you guys go to Buffalo Wild Wings?
That was actually during one of the games for the Phillies last year when they were in the World Series.
There you go. But listen, you're already in love at that point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by then already in love
All
with the
bets are
guy,
off.
and-
Yeah.
Okay. And you're a year into the relationship?
Yeah, just about. We just took a date to Longwood Gardens recently. So
See, now,
it was,
Longwood Gardens would be a great first
Wait a
date.
second. Is he on the lam from the...
Right, yeah.
is he what?
Nothing.
Don't worry about it. All right, thank you, Leela. Appreciate it. Let me go next to Aaron. Hi, Aaron. Good morning.
Yeah.
What's up, Aaron?
Good morning. So funny you guys are talking about this. I actually just made plans for a first date this weekend, and we're going to On the Border, and I'm ecstatic about it.
Oh, I love
What's
it
on
there.
the border?
Mexican.
It's a Mexican place in Bucks County. So we were talking, and I just had mentioned how much I like Mexican food and their queso and how I would literally bathe in it.
Yeah.
And he suggested going On the Border, and I'm like, hell yes,
Wait,
that's where we're going
is
next
it-
weekend.
Is it the one on Route 1 north of the Turnpike?
Yeah, in Best County, Bucksco.
Yeah.
It's
The,
at the Neshaminy.
the
right at the
manager of
Neshaminy
that
Mall.
store loves the Preston and Steve, so drop our name. Maybe you'll get a discount on tequila.
Oh my God, I definitely will.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because Kathy, I'm from Levittown, so maybe I'm just the easy girl to please. So On the Border is good for me.
That's good for you.
On the
Listen,
Border is good for you.
Don't
And
say
you're
that.
ecstatic.
I love that place. That's our meeting place for when I get together with my salsa friends. That's where we go.
Oh. Do they indeed have good salsa there?
You know what? We usually go to eat prior to going to like a salsa party.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So do things seem promising, Aaron?
We literally just talked for the first time yesterday.
Okay.
He seems like a nice guy, so we'll see what happens. But I'm excited for queso and margaritas.
All right.
Good Mexican meal, you're in.
All right, Aaron. Thank you. Hope it goes well. First date coming up On the Border. All right. Going back to this list, after a buffet, the places where women refuse to go for a date. I'm going to do 13 and 14 because they're kind of back to back. So you have IHOP and Denny's.
Yeah, that's not a good date location.
Not a date.
Wait a
location.
second. This is an international house of pancakes.
Yeah. You're really shelling
Come on.
it out. All right.
Show a little culture.
How about this? Who would do this? The gym.
You'd have to be a moron.
Yeah.
Well,
Invite them on a date to the gym.
Not unless it's like a CrossFit thing, and you're like CrossFit people or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe, and you're like, but even still, that seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could never see inviting someone.
Sorry, I threw up there. I was pressing too much.
All right. How about this? Number 16 on the list? Church.
Church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You find a nice girl there.
Yeah.
Library.
Church. Good girl there. Yeah.
It was very good. I mean, I'm Jewish, but it was very good. Thank you.
Now, if you met at church.
Right.
Maybe.
Sister, what are you doing this Friday?
I love this. This habit is
You look
gorgeous.
great in black.
Yeah. What order are you from?
I'm from the Wild Wings order.
So church, yeah, I can't ever imagine someone. But I mean, if you are uber religious, maybe that the person asking the person out on the date, that's kind of
nothing wrong with that.
A requirement
Yes.
that they want. So
and how many jumping jacks can you do?
I don't really know. Hang on, lots of people calling in. I will go to Brian next. Hey, Brian, good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's up, Brian?
It's Dick Clemens.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's Dick Slimmons. Hey, buddy.
Oh, Dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sexy Chewbacca.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, bud?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What do you want to tell us?
I'm a bit of a conspiracy theory prepper guy, so I take first dates to the shooting range to see if they can.
There you go.
Oh, my God.
And then
You're a conspiracy theorist, a prepper guy.
And then afterwards, do you go down to your subterranean lair?
Well, it seems to be working for you, Bri, because you said you take your dates.
Yeah, how many first dates have you had?
How many first dates have you taken to the shooting range?
One, and I only need it once.
I'll tell you this, Brian. There are a number of people across the spectrum have said that going to a range, can be fun. So
as a first date?
Yeah, and Rachel Maddow, of all people, went on a first date to a shooting range. What's the reaction when you suggest this?
I usually go within people of my wheelhouse and beliefs, so they're usually all about it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you're trying to date and go out with somebody who's like-minded anyway. So,
right. So that if that's a test to find out, then maybe so.
Two things. Are you into wings and guns?
Yeah.
My
Thanks, Brian.
friend opened up I would call it like a boutique type of boutique shooting range in Malvern.
Yes,
maybe,
there's one that's opening up on the main line.
Okay, this one is it's already open. It's near like what is that, like 30 and 100 or whatever. It's near there. But
Case, does it kind of seem like Top Golf for that same sort of presentation, right?
Yeah.
No, they look pretty cool. I would like to check it out. Maybe we'll do a mixer at the shooting range, Kathy.
Here's another couple of items on the list, or places on the list. Number 17, it says specifically Starbucks. They would refuse to go. And then,
Starbucks
then right after that, it says coffee dates. I always thought that is a nice, safe
I agree 100%. In
gathering.
fact, to Kathy's point, a midday going out for coffee, you get the woman, you let her out of the trunk of the place, and you go out for a nice cup of coffee. In fact, there's a company that is just a date, just coffee or whatever. Right? What you remember that they used to advertise?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Right. It's a coffee date.
To me, that's an easy way to go on a date. And
there's low expectation.
Well, and when you don't know, you're unsure of the person, that can be a quick date. It can be an hour and then that's it. As opposed to if you're going out to dinner and it's an all night thing.
You can feel safe. That coffee was great. Where's my handy?
There's my handy. Let me go to, I always like this idea of a first date. We'll go to Ryan. Hey, Ryan, good morning.
Hey, I think I dialed the wrong number. Is this the number for Lobster Man?
Yeah, Lobster Man. I don't know. He's got to transition into him officially. So. Ryan, what was the first date you did?
We went out and we played mini golf and had a great time. Still married many moons later now.
Married many moons later. So, putt golf, mini golf, I think that's a perfect first date.
I agree.
Yeah, it's something active, but not
too
serious.
active.
Not serious where you're going to be sweating your ass off. And
there are pauses to talk.
I like the idea of like bowling or even like
karate.
Not karate. What's this? Axe throwing or, what are those types of, or an escape room.
Jousting.
Bowling made it on this list.
I know.
Case. But I know what you're saying. It's an activity. It's a leisure activity. It's not hard.
Plus, they'll be so impressed with how awesome I am at bowling. They'll be like, "Oh my God, you make it curve." And I'll be like, "Yeah, I do."
I'll make you curve.
Just like my pee-pee.
Yeah.
And they're thinking he must spend a lot of time here. I want to be with that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, my fingers are clean. I got my own ball.
Don't worry about later tonight. This is my own ball. My fingers are clean.
Yeah.
They haven't touched any other holes where other people's fingers have been. Let's see. We have, hang on a second, a lot of good, interesting calls here. Let me go to Nicole here. Hi, Nicole. Morning.
Sorry to bother you guys at work.
Okay. We want to hear about it. Nicole, what's up?
So I actually met my husband. He is actually my husband now. Overseas when I was living in the Middle East in the United Arab Emirates.
And what was your first date?
Our first date was we went to it was like the anniversary of the country. So we went to a light show and then we went to a tea coffee house. Their big thing over there is coffee houses.
What's a light show?
I don't know. It was like a light show that was projected onto a castle. It was for their country's.
So that's kind of unique. Yeah, that's their version of Buffalo Wild Wings.
I had my girlfriend with me. We'd only been there for about 2 months.
You and your girlfriend as a friend, or you guys were
as a friend.
Okay.
No, not girlfriend. Yeah,
Okay.
she actually ended up marrying us.
Oh, that's nice.
She came on the first date because I was like, I'm going out with this guy.
Well, why
I know
wouldn't
who
you?
he is.
I mean, that was a hell of a light show.
They keep you coming back, you know?
Jesus, oh, my God.
No.
And then in the process of the date, he was asking questions, which was good. And he asked what I really like to do. I said, I love hockey. I love hockey games.
There you go.
He found his friend played on the ice hockey team, which they had one apparently, obviously, in the middle of the desert. He took me to the one stadium in the town where we were living.
We've got to play quickly.
And took me to an ice hockey practice.
That's awesome.
And then he took me out for hot dogs afterwards.
That's very thoughtful. Very thoughtful. He knew you liked hockey, and he found the one and only hockey game going on in the entire city.
The one thing with the date, though, is that it has
the entire country. Yeah,
it has sort of a bachelorette sort of feel to it. You're in an exotic place to begin with, so it's not like you're starting at the Golden Corral. You know,
right? Yeah. Well, yeah. No.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. That's a nice story. Appreciate that. All right. Other items on this list. This is a list that kind of went viral the past week or so. It's places that women refuse to go to as a first date.
I'm hearing a lot of women, though, say that some of these places are absolutely fine.
Here's one: family functions.
Yeah, you don't do that.
No.
As a first date. No, do not. Never, ever do that.
My brother's getting divorced. Do you want to go?
Yeah. Then you have movie night, meaning Netflix, Hulu, etc. Sitting around at someone's house watching a movie.
It can be good, but it's a lack of creativity. You can make it special.
Here's another one: somewhere that requires a long drive.
Yeah. Alaska.
Would not want to do. You know you can drive there?
No, you can't.
Listen, I'm going to prove this to you. You can drive to Alaska.
Yeah.
Pack a bag.
So a long drive, that makes total sense.
Let's drive someplace.
If the date goes bad, you got a long drive back.
Let's go to Little Rock.
Sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Then you have bowling. Mention that.
Bowling, I think, is a suitable first date. I think probably miniature golf is better because it's a little bit more chill.
Remember, this is lower on the list,
Yeah.
so I think people will probably agree with you. Number 24 says nightclubs. Number 25 says a hookah bar.
A hookah bar.
All right. Well, just cigar lounge.
As a first date, yeah.
That'd be a great first kiss right after getting done sucking down 3 cigars.
Yeah. Then
How
you
about a
have
bathhouse?
a bar just for drinks is number 26.
I think that's good.
Yeah,
Listen,
right?
I know a great brothel in town.
Well, this is near the bottom, so maybe it is a good idea. Bar just for drinks. Then you have Waffle House, as we said, and sports events.
Are there a lot of hookah places around anymore? Or did they go?
I don't know.
I mean, I
don't
assume
really see
during COVID you were not a lot of hookah places made it through. Let's communally suck on something.
What I think would be perfect for golfers. I think a round of golf as a first date would be a good one.
Do you think so?
Oh, that's too long.
Well,
Kathy
it's
says
like
too long.
If you
4
play the
hours.
game, you
Yeah.
play the game, I think it'd be okay. Top Golf would be a great
There
place.
you
right?
go.
Nick, you've
It's
been
fun.
there.
That's for the neophyte, right?
Yeah,
There's
it's for anybody.
Steve, there's a hookah bar right in Manayunk.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Vira or Vira, V-I-R-A.
Oh, I think that's also is that a dispensary as well?
I don't know, but Top Golf is fantastic. It's a really good time.
Let me see here. I will go to talking about first dates, ideal or the worst ideas. We have Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Good morning.
Good morning, it.
Good morning to see you, Tracy. What's up?
So my husband and I, our first date was ice skating, and I fell on my butt, so that was good. So I embarrassed
All right.
myself.
Hold on. Before you go on, Tracy, did you know you were going ice skating?
Yes, and I got lost going to ice skating.
Oh, my God. Well, that's another story. But had you ever, are you any good at it?
I'm not bad at it, but I told him I was pretty good.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you were on
So
board.
you were on board
Yeah,
then.
okay.
All right, that's what I was checking with, because if you're terrified of it, then you'd have to wave that off.
Yeah, you can't whip that on
I
someone.
really think first dates depend on the girl and how much they know the girl before they take them out.
Did you guys hold hands and sing Endless Love?
No, we did not. We did not do Endless Love, but that'd be awesome if we did.
Yeah.
But we're married now. Our third date was David Buster's. It was a blast. We had fun. I think it depends on the girl.
I think you're right.
How much fun she can have.
Right, and you should be able to meet her that. I think that you have to do a little, a pre-conversation before you go out and find out if someone is not able to do something you're going to take them to do.
Yeah,
and that would help. But I mean, if you can roll with Dave and Buster's, you can roll pretty much with anything.
Yeah.
And then he saw me like down the wings at Dave and Buster's, and I guess fell in love with me then.
Oh,
my mother was the only one who ever ate a sandwich. Like,
all right, thanks, Tracy. Yeah, I want to go to that one, Casey. This is another call. We had mentioned on this list one of the worst places to take a first date, the gym.
Yeah.
Casey went on a first date at a gym. Hi, Casey. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so tell us about this date.
Okay, so this guy I was talking to was a instructor for MMA classes.
Okay.
We were trying to plan a date around one of his classes. He's like, "Well, I'll get out kind of late. We can go get dinner after, but it'll be too late." He's like, "Or you can come to the class, and then we'll go out and get food." So I was like, "Yeah, I work out. I can do that, right?" I lift weights. I don't do any cardio at all, and this was like a cardio MMA class.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And so I get out there during the warm-ups. It started to my vision started closing in. Oh my god! And I was like, I think I'm gonna go sit down. Went and sat there. I fully blacked out sitting up for maybe 10 seconds, and I was not well at all. I went in the bathroom. I was sweating profusely. It was
Oh my
not
God.
good. And I just sat there. I had to sit there and watch him teach the rest of the class. It was so embarrassing.
So you're sweating like crazy, and then the idea was you were going to go out afterwards for dinner?
Yeah, so I had to change of clothes. There was a full shower in his gym. He's like, "There's a shower. You can shower afterwards, whatever." I was like, "I can do that," because I used to do that on my lunch break at work. You know what I mean? Work out.
Right.
Go back to work.
Did you guys end up doing dinner?
We did. Yeah, I think we went and got tacos or something stupid. I was just like.
So did that blossom into anything, or was it just a one and done?
Definitely not at all. Not at all.
And was it partially because you were embarrassed about fainting, or was it just it wasn't going to work out?
No, he was a weirdo.
Oh,
he was a weirdo. You know how you
Okay.
can tell? He invited you to the gym on the first date.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. There's some really good ones here. Let me go to Susan. Hi, Susan. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys?
Great. What's up, Susan?
I wanted to tell you about my first date with my husband. He was active duty military, specifically explosive ordnance disposal.
Okay.
And for our first date, he took me to the demo range. We packed C4 and we blew some stuff up.
You guys blew up stuff with C4 on your first date.
Got fire in the hole and everything.
Okay.
And it's been 17 years now.
All right. Well, I have a question.
So many questions.
How did he approach you with this? Had you already, and how did you guys know each other before this?
So I worked on the base, and I saw him at a base function, turned to the athletic director and was like, "Oh my God, I just saw the hottest guy ever." And then flash forward a couple of weeks later, he shows up at my office and says, "Do you want to take some pictures for what we do?" And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And hopped in his vehicle. Out we went.
So that was part of your job, taking pictures?
Sort of. We planned events for the base.
Yeah.
So,
Anything he said, you would have gone along.
So you were already in this world.
Yeah.
So this wasn't too outlandish to you. Let's go blow up some C4.
Let's go to C4 City on City Line, pick up some explosives and blow up a few cars. You were already there, but still. So, and with that suggestion, you went out and blew stuff up and you fell in love?
pretty much.
All right.
We did date for 4 years before we got married.
Was there a point when you said fire in the hole?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to keep this PG, but yeah.
So yes, that phrase has been used in other places than on the range.
Keep it PG.
All right, got it. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate it. Congratulations.
That's one of the most unique, blowing up C4.
I like that.
That is pretty. I've always wanted to do that, for Christ's sake.
All right, hang on. Let me go to Patrick. We're going to have to take a break here in just a second. Hi, Patrick. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning to see you guys.
Patrick.
All right, Patrick. What was this first date story?
So my fiance, who's my fiance now, her and I met on Bumble. It's a like dating app and stuff. And we kind of hit it off, and then I really wanted to meet her, but I was I had worked that week, and I just like out of nowhere messaged her and was like, "Hey, do you want to go somewhere, on my lunch break and meet each other?" And I suggested Chili's, and we got to Chili's, and I saw her, and I thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world, and I was like, I'm an idiot. What was I thinking doing a first date to Chili's?
If you were able to do it over again, where would you have set up your first date?
Honestly, probably there's this place here in Chattanooga. It's P.F. Chang's.
P.F. Chang's,
yes.
Yeah.
They have those here too.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Patrick, but yeah.
And so how did things work out?
I proposed to her last year at Blue Ridge Rock Festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
Next time, there's a great Scottish place called McDonald's.
Yeah.
You got to check that out.
We're getting married on May the 4th.
Congratulations!
Yeah, big Star Wars fans?
Yeah, we're both huge Star Wars fans.
That's awesome.
Glad it worked out. The most beautiful woman in the world walked into the Chili's.
And thanks for listening in Tennessee, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
all right, we'll see you, Patrick. By
Nice
the way,
guy.
P.F. Chang's. Yeah, stepping it up from Chili's.
right,
Actually, it would be a notch
Do you
up.
like-
No, it is.
You like P.F.
I
Chang's?
love P.F. Chang's.
What is?
It's super duper Americanized Asian food, but it's really good.
Oh, the lettuce wraps are to die
Just
for.
saying.
The P.F. Chang's is the upper crusty version of Pei Wei, right?
Yeah,
Or Pei
I believe
Wei?
so,
It's
yeah.
Same company.
I've never known how to pronounce it.
Right.
Pei Wei?
Yeah.
I've never
It
been
was like
there.
a
So.
quick takeout for P.F. Chang's.
Okay.
Same company.
Well, it's an interesting list and something to consider. If you want to take a look at this, it's pretty easy to find, but it is the women across social media deeming which places they would refuse to go on a first date. Not any date, but first date.
So we've learned that the perfect first date for most women is eating wings at the gym.
Yeah, that's it. At the gym, if you can do that.
If you can do that with some C4 in the car,
But apparently,
you're good to go.
Number one on this list is Cheesecake Factory. So may want to, consider that if you're going out on a first date. Maybe a second date would be good. But
I do like
first
cheesecake.
date. Well, yeah, but I mean that's only a tiny bit of what they do. Their menu is gigantic.
I know, I've heard, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Anyhow, thank you for sharing. We do appreciate it. We're going to take a break. Some bizarre file stories that you may have been waiting for are up when we return. So we'll be right back. The Council, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and, which I didn't know existed, the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Oh, that's great. That's what Darth Vader faces off in the second movie.
Work to educate the public on healthy and safe swimming.
We shall crush the Pool Alliance.
Yes, my name is Mortimer Sanchez, and I'm with the Pool Alliance. And we think you're a bad leader.
The survey also revealed...
I don't care.
The survey also revealed that 24% of Americans would go into a pool within 1 hour of having diarrhea.
See, that's now listen. That's why public pools are just not my thing.
Spend all
However,
day on the toilet. You know what I need to do? I need to take a swim.
get some of that residual out.
To check the chlorine and pH levels for a personal public pool, the council is offering free pool test kits through its 15th annual Healthy Pools campaign on its website.
This is the Alliance.
This is the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Did you mention in this story, Preston, particular sunblocks affecting?
I didn't mention this.
Okay. Go into the pool now. Peter Cushing.
Moff Tarkin.
This is the finest pool you'll ever swim in.
What were you saying, Nick? Sunscreens?
Yeah, the reason that I bring it up is that I went on a snorkel, not a scuba,
Snookles
or a snorkel, but a snorkel.
It's the latest craze that's sweeping the beaches of America. Snookling.
Get some Beach Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be
Going
great.
outside, hanging tan, snookling all day long.
Surfing USA, please.
Oh, sorry.
I know what the snookle is, if I may suggest.
At the snookle.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen.
Snookle USA.
Like California.
I'm such an idiot.
All right, anyhow.
Snorkeling.
Oh, yeah.
I went snorkeling, and You weren't allowed to wear. You weren't allowed to wear the sunblock that you brought. You had to use the sunblock that they provided for you, and it's because the sunblock that most people wear is pretty damaging to the reef. And I was wondering if it would be damaging at all to like a pool filter or to the saltwater.
These are all good questions. Yeah, because some of the chemicals are pretty arch and can have that effect.
Yeah, and I've been snorkeling many times in my life, but this is the first time ever on a snorkel trip where I had to do this, and you weren't allowed to wear what you had, what you brought.
They provided.
They provided it for
you. Do you
you,
remember what it was? What type it was?
I don't. It was like an industrial vat of
It was called Reef Killer.
Yeah.
Reef Killer sunblock. A snorkel, by the way, as you're snorkeling, has a second tube that goes up back onto the beach so that someone could load M&Ms into them so that you can eat.
You're hungry.
So that's what a snorkel
Right,
is?
a snorkel is a second food tube.
Okay.
So that you can swim longer.
Everybody wins.
That's great.
They do have snuba.
Snuba.
Snuba is legit.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Snuba.
Apparently snorkel is legit as well.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
If you can swim, you can snorkel. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Snorkel offers shallow dives.
Approximately 10 to 40 feet without cumbersome tanks and no diving certification necessary. That looks like snuba.
It does.
So what
A hose,
what
right?
they do is, they have a floating tank that stays above the water, and you basically take the regulator down, and it's a long tube, a long hose that you can breathe in. We're getting ready to get recertified to go into a refresher course for scuba to get set for our vacation. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'll ask about snorkel.
Yeah.
Zombie raccoons. That's my thing.
Yes.
That clumsily walk on two legs and show their teeth are staggering around suburban Chicago, and authorities are warning locals to hide their pets. A spike in raccoons testing positive for distemper in Riverside, Illinois, is to blame for the bizarre sightings of contaminated animals that the disease causes to appear zombie-like. While zombie raccoons don't eat brains, distemper is highly contagious. If you're feeding wildlife and that raccoon ate out of your bowl or cat food for your stray cats and your puppy goes over, the saliva can be contagious.
They sent in a Negan raccoon to take care of everything.
Well, oh, well, oh, well. Looks like we got ourselves a problem in Chi-Town. Leaning back high. Looks like we got some trouble. Some trouble in Chi-Town. Going deep dish on this bitch.
It's got a little leather jacket he wears. Yeah.
Lean back, way far. Ooh, hey. In the home of Oprah.
There was an email that was sent out that we were going to have our studios checked because there may have been bed bugs brought into the area. And we've had everything checked out. They actually just brought a dog in to sniff. Yeah, I think it was Jack Russell is what it looked like.
Josie was her name.
Josie is the dog. And there's no bed bugs.
Well, no, that's not true. There were on a chair.
Oh, was there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Or it was sort of like a warm zone or something.
A warm
like that
zone.
They call those.
That's
So
what I call my
not-
chairs at home. Yeah, my warm zone.
I think what everybody was worried about was an infestation, which
Mm-hmm.
I guess is not the case if it was just on the chair. I don't know.
Just on the chair. The rest of the place is apparently clean. Josie scoured our studio and nothing.
And I'm never coming back again.
You would have thought there was a radiation leak here.
Yeah. So I never told my wife that there was a bed bug.
She wouldn't have let you go to work.
No.
That was the first thing I told my wife, and I started laughing.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I'm surprised that's all we have. They're ripping the entire building apart, walls that haven't been opened up in years.
Yeah.
I imagine at night there must be a big vermin hoedown when we leave. Because you walk around, there's these cavernous, like a wall will disappear.
Yeah.
There's a big opening now.
Yeah.
You walk down one hall, it's 11 degrees, and then the next hall, it's 1,400 degrees. It's a whole new environment. It's like you're on some spaceship that's just, morphing all the time, and that's what this is here.
Well, I'm just glad that they alerted us to it.
Yeah.
Because during some of the construction, apparently they were removing asbestos, and nobody ever told us.
Well, that's when that wall went up down at the end of the hallway.
Yeah.
Because, and I almost walked into that wall. That's how quickly it went up. I started to turn turned down to go down to what I thought was Chuck's office down the hall that used to exist.
Like Looney Tunes.
And there was a wall.
So my wife will, when we go check into a hotel, it's always the same situation. We open the door, we shut the door, we leave our bags right at the door while she goes and strips all the beds and looks through all the furniture for bed bugs. She's like definitely
She's fanatical. So before you guys even enter the room,
we have to leave our bags at the door. There's an inspection.
I really wanted to come in a hazmat suit or some sort of bubble, but I couldn't find anything.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going through our text chain, and I'm like, hey, by the way, this is going on. I'm not going to tell my wife. And then Kathy immediately goes from 0 to freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, get the F out of here. I'm not coming into work tomorrow. Who the F has bed bugs? Holy F, no, like 1,000 exclamation points. And then she says, do you know how hard it is to get rid of bed bugs? What's the company going to do about it? And when? And then Preston sends a gift. A GIF, I'm sorry, of like a bedbug jug band.
Yeah, playing music. And then Kathy fires back, that's not funny.
It's not funny.
I think I said F you to anybody who's not taking this seriously.
And then I think Nick said, read Joe's email. And then Kathy says, F the email, F the bedbugs, and F whoever doesn't think this is a big deal. Where are we going to do our show tomorrow? Clearly, we can't go to the station, and we need an on-site location.
My house is
She was
clean.
ready.
My house is clean.
Yeah. You're ready to set up shop somewhere else.
100%. If you guys would have said, yeah, we have to do the show somewhere else, I would offer it up my house.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
So it was one bug down the hall, right?
Yes!
Okay, I'm just asking.
Could you see Casey coming home? Diane wants to check him, so she takes out the blue light. Doesn't find any bed bugs, just semen stains.
Yeah.
All over my face. We're good.
The woman was saying that they have dogs that can do all sorts of that check for bugs that actually will.
Wait a minute. I thought you meant that bed bugs use dogs to travel around.
Mush for a ride.
I thought you meant as piggybacking.
You've never seen the bed bug Iditarod?
No.
It's good. Yeah.
It must be majestic.
It's compelling.
Yeah, good dog, good dog. It's good dog. I love being out here in the open range. Yeah.
Let's see here. As Godzilla versus Kong, starring Millie Bobby Brown, performed much better than expected given the circumstances of COVID and so on, and the original movie King of the Monsters' lackluster box office performance. A threequel is expected with Adam Wingard set to direct again.
So he just directed the most recent one.
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
So according to the Hollywood Reporter, the concept being floated is Son of Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong has crossed $400 million globally and is the top-grossing Hollywood-produced movie since the pandemic hit.
They're going to have to correct something now in both these, Son of Kong and Son of Godzilla. You gotta have a female Godzilla. Something. Mm-hmm. Who's he banging?
Yeah.
Where does this? Not unless they're asexual. They reproduce that way. I mean, there's only
it's Son of Kong,
right? But there's also Son of Godzilla.
Oh, is there Son of Godzilla?
Yes, I'm sure that's in the works as well.
So maybe he could reproduce asexually. I don't know. We don't know much about Godzilla. He's kind of a mystery, but definitely not Kong.
Well, Godzilla
Definitely
could.
not.
No, he's more.
Yeah.
He's a simian.
He's a mammal.
Why do we assume that Kong is a man? Wouldn't
we know it? He's all man.
Well, I don't know.
Wouldn't he be Queen Kong?
Yeah, he'd be Queen Kong.
Okay, fair point. But I didn't see any low-hanging fruit, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, they left that out. In fact, can you on apes or do they? I've never.
Is there junk external?
That's a good question.
Apparently, it's pretty small. I remember. We talked one point about animal genitalia.
Yeah, but even on Kong, it would be big enough.
You're right.
But it'd be the size of
proportionally
a VW, you know.
Yeah,
it'd be the size of me.
Be as tall as Steve.
I want to see King Dong. I want to see it.
There actually was a movie called King Dong.
Of course, there was.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a rom-com. Like he's romancing this lady, and that's about how they have the baby together.
Oh, the next Kong
the
movie?
next one, yeah.
4 weddings and a King Kong.
That could be. It could be something like that. We'll have to see. An inspiring story.
The giant ape walked into her life.
All right. So anyhow, we will see if that comes to pass or not. But
how big his junk is, and whether there's a Mrs. Kong.
Son of Kong. We'll have to see.
What a goddamn day today. Sit down. I'll make you some dinner. I'm fighting these things that are apparently prehistoric. And yet I've never seen them, and I'm on an island. You think I would want to cross. I don't even know why they evolved that way. They're like snake things with... just give me a beer.
Yeah, just think about it tomorrow. Just,
you want to do a little grab ass?
Yeah. Khloe Kardashian.
Let's take this upstairs.
What are you doing?
Just a little finger stuff.
Oh my God.
There's no little finger stuff in you.
Oh, it's bigger than my penis.
No, it's perfect.
A lot of gorillas are like that.
It's okay, baby. It happens. No, not to me. It's those dumb lizard things that I met today.
You can't stop thinking about it.
It's distracting.
Forget about the lizard things. Come upstairs.
Let's have some oysters.
Okay. Should I move on to Khloe Kardashian now? Okay, thank you.
Same size.
I have the floor now.
Maybe that. There you go. King Kong marries Khloe Kardashian.
Today, it was, I guess, 25 years ago today or recently within the last week or so?
I think it's today. It's a magical day, or at least a magical time. You can sort of feel it in the air.
Yeah, you even look outside.
Yeah.
The trees are swaying, I think, in honor of the fact that it is the 25th anniversary of the movie Twister.
Yeah. A legendary film.
Oh, my God.
Legendary, horrible film.
I remember looking forward to going and see. I took my mom. She was visiting in town, and I took her to go see the movie. And the big hook were the effects.
That's it.
At the time, the effects were kind of groundbreaking. The CGI depicting these tornadoes.
And they were amazing for the time. They did a great job.
Yeah. It was such a stupid movie.
The whole concept.
It was just piss poor.
Yeah. The rival storm chasers.
Yeah.
There's the corporate storm chasers and the more grassroots in it for the love of the storm. The whole background story on Linda Hunt's character, Helen Hunt's Joe Harding.
Not Linda.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
Yeah. So the Helen Hunt's story about her dad being sucked away in a twister while they were in the storm cellar, and she's always had this love-hate relationship with the storms. But it's horrible. But again, at that time, the effects-wise, you'd never seen anything like that.
No, effects-wise. So here's my vivid memory of this movie. Because if it was 25 years ago today, I was just getting done my junior year of college. I was a lifeguard, and I was at my boss, the guy who owned the company. I was at his house getting all the supplies ready to clean out pools. We did apartment pools. And he talked like this, like his voice was like this, right? And so it's me and my little brother, and we're power washing all this stuff in his driveway. And he goes, I saw Twister last night, and those tornadoes were real. And he said that. Those tornadoes were real. He must have said that like a half a dozen times. My little brother, it was me and him, my younger brother, sorry. It was me and him. And so we will, I mean, even 25 years later, if the words were...
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, you want your stories? We got your stories. We're going to start with this one. Safety concerns are being raised about a medical center in California after a nurse was recently pinned between an MRI machine and a bed during a freak accident.
That's horrible.
The nurse, Iana Cervantes, suffered crushing injuries that required surgery after the MRI machine's magnetic force suddenly pulled the hospital bed toward it. Cervantes was tending to a patient on a bed at the time of the mishap, and the patient fell from the bed and was uninjured. But Cervantes became sandwiched between the front of the tube-shaped machine and the bed.
It's a friggin' nightmare.
She said I was getting pushed by the bed, and she told investigators, basically, I was running backwards. If I didn't run, the bed would smash me underneath. Cervantes endured a severe laceration that required surgery that included the removal of 2 embedded screws. The probe found that the Redwood City Center failed to provide radiological services in a safe manner, revealed several missteps leading up to the incident involving the machine, which, of course, uses magnetic fields and radio waves to create images of the body. Investigators say that there were no MRI personnel present inside the room during the incident. No one, including the patient, was ever screened, and the door to the room was left open. The safety alarm system never sounded.
How did it get turned on?
Yeah, I don't know. The incident also breached several of Kaiser's MRI safety policies. Some employees never received required safety training, and the hospital also failed to test the door alarm annually as recommended. So obviously some people are probably going to lose their jobs over that one.
That's why they never allow nurses to wear their C-3PO costumes in the MRI.
In Florida, a woman allegedly set a car on fire because she became upset with her job on Friday morning.
Hell, we've all had bad days, but set your car on fire?
Officers found the car on fire in the parking lot of the Tarpon Towers.
There, I showed me.
They then located Amber Marie Galbraith nearby and approached her. After an investigation, officers said Galbraith, an employee of a business within the building, was recently upset by a disciplinary matter at work. Galbraith then allegedly brought ignitable liquids to the building and tried to get inside, but was stopped by employees. After leaving the building, she set a parked car on fire. So
I really need some Applebee's.
Maybe she was going to try to set the business on fire.
It sounds that way, doesn't
for
it?
a car. She was charged with 1 count of arson. Police are investigating the cause of a hit-and-run crash Friday morning involving a stolen vehicle and a funeral hearse with a body inside.
Oh, man.
Police responded to the two-vehicle crash involving a recently stolen Kia and a white Cadillac funeral hearse and said a casket with a body inside was ejected from the hearse after
God
the accident.
almighty.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Police said a preliminary investigation indicates the Kia was being driven at a high rate of speed when it collided with the hearse, and they said that 3 people ran from the Kia, but only 1 was located and taken into
Did the cops pull the coffin over?
The driver of the hearse was treated by paramedics and taken to the hospital. Police are asking anyone who may have witnessed it to call. A driver does not ever want to find a 250-pound bear and her cubs in a car, but that's exactly what happened to a family in North Carolina.
Where are we going?
Body camera footage captured deputies Scott Bray and Tom Gwynn arriving over the weekend to a home. They believe the mother bear managed to get the door of the minivan open. Then the bear and the cubs climbed inside and the door closed behind them. The windows were so fogged up it was difficult to see much of anything. Bray said right when we saw the bear, all we saw was snout and eyes, and it was looking right at us.
Jeez.
The rear sliding doors did not work because of the damage inside, so deputies decided to tie a rope to the front door handle and pull it from a safe distance.
Yeah, we're watching the footage right now.
The mother bear climbed out, but she didn't leave. Instead, the bear turned around and stood on its hind legs. Gwen said,
Do you have any juice boxes?
Didn't really know what to think at the moment. It was kind of scary in the situation, but it ended very well. It was then the deputies learned that there were cubs inside the rear of the van. The sheriff described the cubs as yearlings, most likely born last year. He said, we learned a valuable lesson. Just because you're out in the mountains and you don't think that you need to lock your doors, you need to lock your doors. Yeah. The 2 deputies worked together to coax them out. Both cubs ran toward the backyard where they were reunited with their mother and another cub that was watching from a tree.
And as you can imagine, the dashboard and everything was all ripped up.
The minivan sustained thousands of dollars in damage, and it was rented, but fortunately, the visitors had insurance.
Where are my ketchup packs?
Mm-hmm. The Transportation Security Administration says marijuana was discovered in a woman's adult diaper at an airport checkpoint.
Oh, boy.
The incident happened recently at LaGuardia. A checkpoint scanner alerted agents to the woman's groin area, resulting in a pat-down. The marijuana was found concealed in a diaper that she was wearing.
Drop the diapers, ma'am.
The woman was traveling with her mom and was attempting to hide the marijuana from her by putting it in a diaper. Police allowed the woman to just throw the pot away and catch her flight.
Oh, wow. Okay,
She wasn't in any trouble.
Yeah, it seems like she went through all of this trouble for no reason. I was looking at the picture. I'm like, it's not even that much. She probably should have just put it in her carry-on and just carried on.
Should have, yeah.
Well, she was trying to hide it from her mom,
mommy.
not the security, not the police.
That's funny.
She was trying to hide it from her mom. Well, guess what? Mom found out. All right, and then one more story, and this is a tragic story, but we'll end with this one anyway. A Kentucky man is dead after a hunting accident involving a wounded deer. The Department of Fish and Wildlife said 37-year-old Jared Husfield was injured while struggling with the deer. Now, it doesn't go into details, but
deer
I'm
probably got the gun.
assuming that no, I don't think the deer got the gun. I think maybe the antlers. He got him with the rantlers.
We've talked about the rantlers.
Yeah.
And how deadly rantlers can be.
Rantlers! Initial report said that Hosfield was tracking and trying to harvest the deer at the time.
I gotcha.
The coroner's office removed him after authorities received a fatal hunting incident notification.
They say the deer took his head home, Preston.
Unbelievable. Kentucky
Yeah, look
Fish.
at that. Up over the fireplace. How about that?
Kentucky Fish and Wildlife said the investigation is ongoing. So, yeah, they can be quite dangerous.
I wonder statistically how many, I mean, it's not out of the realm of believability that like an 8-point buck could kill a hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
A 2-point buck, I would imagine. All right, and then finally, did I miss this?
Yeah.
The Bizarre Val has been brought to you by Pro Team Collision.
Yay!
Your certified collision repair center. If you get into an accident, Pro Team Collision is there for all of your auto body repair needs. All right, and that's it in the B-File. When we return, we have a local person done good. They're promoting a movie. Writer and director of Sick Girl, Jennifer Cram, will be joining us in just a moment. So stay with us. We'll be back in a sec.
Comes up in conversation. He and I will say, those tornadoes were real.
What was that guy's name?
I don't want to say his name.
What's his first name?
What was his first name? Last name?
You just know his last name?
Joe.
Okay.
Let's go with Joe.
Hey, Joe, how were those tornadoes?
Those tornadoes were real.
I love that story so much.
Was he suggesting that they had incorporated? What was his point? Was that they were not created for the movie, that they were corralling tornadoes and using them in the film?
I think what he meant to say was those tornadoes looked real.
Okay.
But he said that they were real. And he had like a real affinity towards just weather. He loved weather.
He was a weather guy.
Yeah, he loved weather.
It was like Philip Seymour Hoffman in the movie.
Well, I mean, listen, he owned a pool supply and lifeguarding company, so weather was definitely...
What I really love is weather.
Yeah. Weather's important to that line of work. Absolutely.
Yeah. Those tornadoes are real.
Oh, my God.
I wonder if my
That's
brother's
great.
texting me.
It's almost kind of Don Nazi.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wait, I just said Don Nazi.
Very different.
Don Nazi.
Citizens of Mayberry, I find nice and gloomy.
Oh, my God. I didn't even mean to do that. Wow. Okay.
Floyd in here. I have something for him to do. We got to talk about this Jewish thing.
All right. But you guys would be surprised how many people are texting in on how this is their favorite movie.
Yeah.
Or that it's their
I don't even get why
the
we're
best
talking
movie.
about it.
It's the 25th anniversary.
Because those tornadoes
because-
were real.
Who cares?
I mean, come on, Cap.
It was
It was real.
By the way, when Casey says that, he puts his hands by his sides.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like he pushes them into his sticks his elbows out and goes, "It was real.
Those tornadoes were real."
Primal Fear. Ed Norton has them as a very diabolical character, right? I remember he's completely psychopathic.
A good twist.
It's a twist.
Too.
Yeah.
It's a twister.
It was
Those tornadoes were real.
Dude. I can't believe we just met this guy
I
just
can't
now.
believe I never took
You've never brought it
I
up.
love that.
Dude, that guy, man. He lived in this beautiful, huge home. I'm like, how the hell, like looking back on it, I'm like, how the hell did you just own a pool company? You know what I mean? Anyway.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, well, good on
And he
him.
My family money is real.
I want to get movie reviews from that guy.
Yes.
Other movies
from Joe.
Yeah.
I love it. After grieving her husband Prince Philip's death, Queen Elizabeth is back to her royal duties. On Tuesday, she made her first official appearance following Philip's funeral. And she was seen... Oh, grinning. I thought it said grinding.
I thought it said gurning.
She's gurning.
Now, what's this? I'm sucking my chin into my mouth.
Wait, do we have the bell? It's the gurning.
Her Royal Majesty will now suck her chin into her mouth as part of the royal gurning. Her Royal Majesty will contort her face by sucking her chin up into her mouth.
If you're not familiar with gurning, it's when people like take their false teeth out and suck their lips into their mouth.
If you know what bitter beer face is.
Yeah, that's gurning. So she was seen gurning during two virtual audiences with Windsor Castle. So yeah,
Prince Charles will gurn simply by standing there.
No, it was grinning is the word I read incorrectly. So.
By the way, this very bell came from England.
No.
Really?
Yes, it did. I ordered it on Amazon, and it came, and there was the parcel information said from England. So maybe it's the one the Queen uses.
It might be. Might be.
Where's my goddamn bell?
The gurning.
I sold it on Amazon.
There we go. We had mentioned this earlier this morning, but it's definitely worth bringing up. The restaurant named Cadence, which is a BYOB on Girard Avenue, was named the best new restaurant by Food and Wine.
That's a super well respected journal in the world of the culinary happenings.
Yeah.
And so this is a big honor.
But in the order, you have Cadence is number one in Austin, Texas. Suerte. Frenchette in New York, Conby in Los Angeles, Kumiko in Chicago. These are all one-word names.
Manny's Chili Dogs.
Ah, that's on there. No, Pat's Chili Dogs.
Pat's Chili Dogs.
Yes.
Dogs. Definitely the best theme.
Yeah.
Number one in Food and Wine magazine. Yeah, baby.
That was from the band Cinderella when they were big in the area. They did
We're Warren. When we're in town, we want some good chili dogs. We always read through Food and Wine magazine to see who won.
They did a commercial for Pat's Dogs.
Pat's Dogs. Pat's Chili Dogs. Pat's Dogs. Pat's Chili Dogs.
That building is now a We Buy Gold.
Oh, is it really?
We buy gold. Gold for sale. No more chili dogs. Job not going well. Pat's Dogs. Pat's Chili Dogs. Pat's Dogs. Next step, selling blood.
So number 6 on this list is Ada, which is Ada Indian Canteen.
Ooh, I love canteens. When you go in that, you need water.
Fox and the Knife in Boston.
Boston sucks.
Hey, we beat Boston.
Yeah.
Love me some good Fox.
There you go.
Suck at Boston.
How's the Fox at this place?
Indigo in Houston, Nightshade in Los Angeles, and in New Orleans, a place called Piece of Meat.
There you go. You know, it's I think one of the most difficult parts of a restaurant would be a name that means something and pops to people.
Yeah.
You know, like Pat's Chili Dogs.
Right. That's.
Pat's Dogs. Pat's Chili Dogs. Pat's Dogs. Pat's Chili.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the name will only get you so far, but it is an added bonus. Answer the phone, by the way. Thank you very much. I don't know. If you had a restaurant, what would you name it?
I'd name it Answer the Phone.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm tired of waving my arms.
Yeah.
It's been happening
You
the
lose
last few
business.
days, and I'm just going to say answer the phone.
Answer the goddamn phone.
Yeah, answer. In fact, I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
That should be the name of the restaurant.
Answer the goddamn.
Answer the goddamn.
Answer the goddamn phone. Great food. Answer the goddamn phone. Open all night.
We've been mentioning all morning long. Tickets for the MM Barbecue go on sale right now. It is exactly 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You can get your tickets. The lawn seats start at just $25, and we want you to get on board because we want you to be there for all of the bands and all the activities that are taking place. We're going to have Aaron Jones, who we just played, Dorothy, Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen's band, Mammoth, he will be there. Dirty Honey, Cheap Trick, The Offspring, and the band that this gentleman is in, who is joining us right now. We're so excited to have Jane's Addiction on the bill.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've seen them before. I saw them at the Spectrum ages ago.
Amazing, right?
Blew me out of the water. One of my favorite shows in that building of all time. Please welcome Mr. Dave Navarro. Our show today. Good morning, Dave.
Hi, guys.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. That's a very nice welcome.
It's our pleasure, man. Like I said, yeah, I've seen you guys before. I know the kind of energetic show that you bring, and that you guys get the audience in on the party. You make it happen. And it's been a while since we've partied, Dave. So big expectations.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Well, big expectations for me too. I got to tell you, the other night, LA is starting to open up and have indoor eating and dining and things like that. And I went to a restaurant the other night, and it was overwhelming. Just people and noise and things going on and plates being dropped. And then I thought forward to our show coming up in September. I was like, man, I'm not even prepared to be in a restaurant.
Baby steps.
But
you know what I mean? Like, what is it going to be like walking out onto like a festival audience with you guys? But I'm excited to do it, man. It's been a long time. So
the way
we're pretty psyched.
The way it's progressing is that the show is it's at the end of September. So again, everyone's sort of feeling their way. It's like the cobwebs are lifting and the doors are opening and everyone's looking above ground. And by that time, I think we're going to be in a nice swing of thing. But I can't think of a better scenario, especially since it'll be a little bit cooler in September.
Yeah.
And the roster's great. And Preston's seen you guys a number of times, and I've always wanted to see Jane's Addiction, and people are freaking out.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm also super excited to see Wolfgang's band.
Yes. Yeah, we've been talking quite a bit about that, David. I want to get your take on this because the music that we've heard so far, very impressive. He had a lot to live up to, and that's another thing. And I'm hoping for the best because not only is he a young musician trying to make his way, but I need somebody to carry on that Eddie
legacy.
The mantle?
Thank you. Yeah. And that's got to be a tremendous amount of pressure on him, I assume. I'm sure he's gladly going to take this on, but it's got to be a weird position to be in.
Yeah, I would imagine the best thing for him is to acknowledge that and be aware of it, but to just do his own thing, man. Yeah. He's his own human being, and like he's got his direction musically. And from what I've seen, it is very different than Van Halen. It's a little bit more, more modern rock, I suppose.
Yeah.
But he's fantastic, and I want to see him. I want to check out the band, and I'm going to do everything in my power to not tell him how much your dad meant to me.
It's hard though, right?
It's going to be impossible, but you know how hard that's going to be to not do. But I hope the best for him, and I typically don't get to when we do these festival shows. I typically don't get to them early, but I'm definitely going to come down and check out Wolfie, and I'll probably check out Cheap Trick too, because Xander's a friend and I played with him a bunch of times. And a weird side note for me is that I think the first concert I ever went to was Cheap Trick opening up for Kiss.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. Like in the 70s.
Yeah.
And so to be on the same bill with them as Cheap Trick and as Jane's Addiction is a pretty big deal for me. Just in terms of having a little personal clash with my own history, I suppose.
Well, Dave, I have to tell you, I had my upper thigh felt at a backyard barbecue to a Cheap Trick song in the 70s. So, yes.
I don't know that we can top that experience for you.
I mean, that was good.
Hey,
Dave, at least you had that.
I wanted to ask, with the length of time it's been since musicians have had a chance to do live shows. I mean, you can pick up the guitar and you can play it and you can
WMMR.
Thank you very much, Kath. Our next guest is making her directing debut. It did a lot of work in movie casting.
Right.
And has a movie now that is opening up, and she's local, and we love that. And here's some music from the movie, actually, yeah. Whether or not Patrick Stump of Fall Out Boy is the composer on the film. It's called Sick Girl. Please welcome Jennifer Cram to the show from Bucks County.
Northeast Philly.
Northeast Philly? I thought it was Bucksco.
No, Northeast Philly.
Well, how about that? A Northeast gal.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All right, so did I get all that right? You did a lot of work in casting, and now this is your directing debut?
That's right. Yeah, I worked in casting for like 15, 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff. Yeah, going through the list, you have the right now lessons in chemistry. You did The Offer, which I love that series.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Did you cast Miles Teller? Was that?
No, Miles was,
one of the producers?
He
All
kind of, they offered it to him and he signed on. He doesn't
All right.
have to audition anymore.
I think that's a fascinating thing. Getting the right person for the right role. It's hard, and so in your own movie, Sick Girl, Nina Dobrev, who is from Vampire Diaries, I had no idea she had comedic chops.
Yeah, she was at the time that we met first. She was doing a TV show, which was a sitcom.
Right.
But she hadn't done a ton of comedy, and she had been really interested in trying to get into that world more. So especially like with something a little darker, like Sick Girl. So she really wanted to, and I'm kind of fascinated by whenever you see an actor do something that is not what you expect from them.
Out of their wheelhouse.
Right.
Yeah, and they love that too if they can challenge it and get noticed. Like Brendan Fraser with The Whale. It's not.
Yeah.
So that can be a career reset. But she was when you wrote this about 10 years ago? Was she like 15 or 16?
Yeah. She wasn't. I definitely didn't write the movie with her in mind because she was a teenager, probably a little bit older, but much younger. But yeah, by the time it came around to us casting, she was the perfect age.
And
so that worked out.
The movie is a dark comedy. It's what it is. So and I love those. They're tough to sell sometimes to an audience. You walk, especially since your main character is feigning a battle with cancer to keep her collective of friends together. Because I think we all go through this. It's like, everyone's going off. And so she takes a really heinous approach to doing this. And so when you're presented with that as the writer as well, you got to look for things to keep the audience going, okay, well, this is a redeeming aspect about it. How did you work that out in your mind? How did you go through that process?
I think I went into it knowing that it was going to be tricky. And I wanted to make sure nobody thought I was making fun of cancer or people who had cancer. My father actually had stage 4 throat cancer.
Okay.
And he's fine now. God, thank God. But I obviously understand. I think everybody in the world, I don't know anyone who doesn't know someone who's been touched by cancer. But for me, I thought writing the character of Leo as someone who actually had cancer and could be kind of like the conscience of.
And he kind of jabs at her a little bit and knocks her down a peg.
Yeah, he kind of pokes at her and is hopefully sort of the voice of the audience and the voice of a conscience and points out how awful what she's doing is.
The bitch at things like this is that you actually have to go for it if you're going to go for it.
Right.
So that is, and so as you're writing it, you wrote it 10 years ago, right? A little bit. How many passes do you take? And you're basically you're a neophyte at this time, kind of, right? You were teaching yourself and took some lessons, but I mean, it's got to be really tough, especially when you're taking on your first sort of big production as this, and knowing what's hitting right with something that can be tricky for seasoned writers.
Yeah, I like these kind of movies. I like twisted characters, but it was definitely, there were a lot of passes.
Right.
There were a lot of people who were like, this is just a little too touchy, or the character's too unlikable, which, as in the past few years has kind of become less of a problem as far as the unlikable part. But the cancer thing, and it was something that everyone was always obviously it came up in every conversation, and a lot of people were just like, we're not touching this.
You say because it's become less tricky, because there are probably more non or unlikable characters as the leads of shows like Kathy, your show with God,
Shameless
okay. is a collective of loathsome people,
right?
And so a little bit more accepting. So when you the idea of we able to bounce this off anybody as you're writing it, because you do, obviously you're in the industry, and you were obviously you I assume you have connections. Do you do that, or are you embarrassed, or are you timid to show your stuff?
I mean, I think it's always a little. It's personal, even if it's not about you, So I think it's always a little scary, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
So I think, I was in a writing group, which was helpful. So, and then I had a writing coach. And then John Papsadera, who was my boss, he's the casting director who I've worked for. And, he's done all of Christopher Nolan's movies and just.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. So he, was one of the first people who I gave it to read, and he was like, I think you're on to something here. And he's actually a producer on this, and he connected me with the other producer as well. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How do you get in? So the casting thing is fascinating. How do you? So you leave here, you go out to L.A. I assume you want to be an actress.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were one of a handful.
Right. There's so few of us.
Right. And so how do you get into the casting thing? Because I've. So many directors will work with their specific casting directors because they're like gold for them. So how do you breach that wall and become one yourself?
So this is going to make me sound old, but I went out there being like, I guess I'll act. I didn't go to film school, so I didn't even know what half the jobs were, and I was like, well, I know what that is. So I was taking classes and stuff, and then. This is going to make me sound old, but do you remember the show Project Greenlight?
Yeah, I love it. HBO.
Right. Yeah. So I was watching the first season, and I saw the casting portion of it, and I was like, "This is fascinating. What a cool job." So I actually called that casting director's office.
Well, season 1 was Shia LaBeouf, was it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the casting director was this guy named Joseph Middleton.
Right.
So I called his office and said, "Do you use interns?" And they were like, "Yeah." So I went in and had an interview with them, and they hired me, and I interned there 2 days a week while I was waitressing and bartending. And I realized pretty quickly that I was like, I can't act. This is not, first of all, I'm not good enough, but also this is an intense lifestyle. So then I just really enjoyed it. So I was like, maybe I'll do this casting thing. And I got hired for my first job a couple months after that by someone who had worked with Joseph. And then my second job was I did the third or fourth season of Project Greenlight.
Wow.
With, as an assistant.
That's pretty friggin' awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. And then, a couple years after that, actually it was just a couple months after that, I met John Papsadera. I had made a list of the top casting directors that I wanted to work with because of their movies that I loved. And he had done this movie I loved called Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yeah.
So he was at the top of my list, but he never hired anyone. He never needed anyone. So when he finally did, I got in there as quick as I could and stayed with him ever since.
It's cool. It's such a wild thing because you talk about casting against type, and I think the people that tend to get noticed in this realm, which is I think an interesting part of the industry, are the people who can see something in somebody that maybe anytime, like in the superhero, so we're big, genre lovers. So, I remember years ago when they announced Michael Keaton as Batman, and oh my God, and Mr. Mom, you got to be kidding. And now everyone goes, oh, we love Michael Keaton as Batman. So it requires that special thing. What do you attribute success to in the industry? Is it exactly that?
As far as an actor?
As a casting director.
Yeah, I think it's always being able to look outside the box. Yeah. And I think it's being I'm a really big fan of movies and television shows.
Yes, you have to consume a lot.
Yeah, you do. So it's always kind of watching. I think, years ago, Mark Wahlberg, who had at that time only done dramas. He did a comedy called I Heart Huckabees.
Yeah.
And I was like really kind of blown away by how funny I thought he was. So I'm always, and I'm a huge comedy fan. So I'm always kind of looking at actors that I'm like, I feel like they should be trying more of this. But yeah, it's always interesting. And casting against type, it's a little bit harder to get the studios on board. But I feel like the creative side always is really interested in that and kind of exploring that.
So did you indeed do the casting for Sick Girl then?
John did with me. I mean, he is technically the casting director, but yeah, I had for several of the roles I had people in mind, but some he completely introduced me to. The girl who plays Jill is an Australian actress named Haley Magnus, and I had never heard of or seen her. And John was like, "You got to check this girl out." But some of them, yeah, I knew of and kind of had like made mental notes that I wanted to work with them eventually.
All right, so a little bit more about the plot and the placement of Sick Girl. Where does it take place?
Well, we shot it. I actually wrote it to be filmed in Philly, but the tax breaks in Tulsa, Oklahoma were better.
We lose out again to Tulsa.
I know. So we had to shoot. And they were like, do you want to try and fake Tulsa for Philly? And I was like, yeah, I don't think that's going to work. So, yeah, we shot it in Tulsa.
Okay. And this, it's been in the can for a while because of COVID and a whole bunch of other things, right?
Yeah. I mean, we shot it in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a whole different world then.
It's got to suck to have something completed. You want to show everybody. And it's just sitting there. So now now there's all of this going on with the strike.
I know. I was like, this is going to be my villain origin story. I'm going to turn into the Joker. It took me like 5 years to get this done. I'm like, finally, and then there's a strike.
What I wanted to ask is, so you're the character of Ren, who's the main character. Is that off of Footloose?
No.
Okay.
No. He actually spells it different.
I know, yeah.
But no, I don't know where I came up with that.
Are you this character, essentially?
I mean, look, I've obviously never done anything like this.
Right. You never fake cancer.
No.
Yeah, you're here with a friend today.
Yes,
so, yeah.
I am. I don't know if she thinks I'm like this. I mean, we definitely did a good amount of drinking when we were younger. I don't think I'm that crazy anymore. But yeah, she's definitely who I most identify with out of this cast.
I mean, because it's hard when you think, and it's mentioned are those the best years? What if this collective breaks up? Am I no longer something?
Right.
And so that's what
it's
she's
part of your identity.
Right.
Wendy McLennan Covey is in this. We love her.
She is wonderful.
And who does she? Is she the mom in this?
She's the mom, and she's, I mean, God bless Wendy. She flew in.
She's amazing.
Charmed the pants off everyone, shot a couple scenes, and flew back out. She was wonderful.
Was your mom the main? Was she putting in the bid for? She's a big Goldbergs fan, right?
Yes. She is. No, I didn't tell my mom at all until I was done. But my family was very excited about that. And Wendy was amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe she said yes, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have any other Philly friends in Hollywood, that are in the industry? Are you guys? Do people hang, or is there a little collective?
I don't know that I know that many people from Philly. I'm actually, my next movie is being produced by Kevin Hart's company, but I don't know him personally.
And can you tip the hand on what that is?
It's a romantic comedy. Again, it's like dark, but it's about a girl who reads a book, like a Twilight type book, and kind of becomes convinced the author is her soulmate and starts to stalk them.
Okay, so like rom-com misery.
Yeah. That's how I'm going to pitch it from now on.
I like that. But part of the reason, Jen, you're sitting here right now is that we have a mutual friend in Aaron Scotty, and Aaron produced a few different movies over the years, including Peanut Butter Falcon, and we've maintained a friendship with him over the years. I think he grew up in Conshohocken.
He did.
Yeah, and then his story was that he ended up working in your office as an intern.
Yeah, a good friend of mine who grew up with Aaron in Conshohocken called me and was like, my friend Aaron's moving out there. Would you like sit down with him? And he wants to be in the industry and stuff. So we met, and he asked if I could help him out, and I was like, do you want to intern with us at the casting office? And He did. And then he, you know, once this came out, he was like, I know the guys at Preston and Steve. Do you want me to? He's like, I want to repay the favor. I was like, amazing.
Aw.
Like, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it's so cool because, and we always say internships, man. You do internships.
yeah. I
It's
know.
the best way. If you can do it, so many people here were former interns.
They're doing this thing now in LA because somebody sued that they weren't like getting paid to interns. So they got rid of a lot of them. And I feel like it's such a shame because I don't know how else I would have gotten my foot in the door. Like it was I didn't know anybody, but like I had no problem working for free for, you know, a couple hours a week. It was
I did years ago, and when
Yeah.
I was doing stand-up and enjoying stand-up comedy, but I boy, I really kind of like radio. Okay, well, maybe we can work on something. So I'll work gratis on some things, and here I am. So it's such a weird thing that they, you know.
I do think it's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very grateful that I got to do that.
So what is the long game on this? Obviously, is you're now casting and everything. Acting dreams done, directing, writing forever.
Well, my acting dream is done, but I am still casting.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I you know, this was a tiny little independent film, so I'm not quite on the level of like a Chris Nolan yet. So I'm still casting a lot as my day job, but you know, hopefully.
What? I want to see your villain origin story. I want to see the pissed off director. Who
Yeah.
turned-
I actually think it's a good idea. I'm gonna get to work on it.
I think it's cool that Patrick Stump from Fall Out Boy ends up being the composer for the film, and he's never done this before, right?
Well, he hadn't when we hired him.
Yeah.
Since, you know, by the time he finished the score, I think he had done like 3 or 4 movies because of the pandemic and all the pauses.
Right.
But yeah, this was his first foray into composing, and he was amazing. He was so patient with me because I would say to him, I don't speak the language of music, but like I would always, you know, he'd play me stuff and I'd be like, I think that's a xylophone. And he'd be like, no, that's totally not what that is. But I said, like, I don't know how to tell you what, and he said, if you can just tell me how the scene is supposed to feel, the emotions you're going for, I can. Which is to me insane, like remarkable. And then he would play me something, and I was like, oh my gosh, like he was, you know.
He nailed it, yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And now you get to go to any Fall Out Boy concert you want to go to.
You know, I
free.
haven't tried to push that, but now that you've put that in my head.
Tickets for life.
Yeah.
Do you know Michael Giacchino?
No, who's that?
Okay, it's a local Academy Award-winning composer right here from Philadelphia.
Oh no, I don't know.
He wrote the music to Up and The Incredibles and
Just those little movies.
The list goes on and on and on and on. And he's a friend of ours, but maybe for your next movie.
Yeah, maybe.
For the Marvel movie you're doing.
Yeah.
So people can watch this now. Sick Girl is out now, right?
Yeah, it's on digital and on demand. So, you know, like Amazon Prime, Apple, stuff like that.
Okay. And YouTube, it says as well, if you want to watch
I think it's YouTube Premium.
Yeah, you pay. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Nice.
Well, congratulations. It's finally, you can talk about it and it's out there and everything. It's 3-4 years ago, whatever, that you finished this.
Yeah.
So.
Crazy.
That's excellent. And let us know, you know, if something else is coming up down the road and you want to get the word out about it. We'd love to help out somebody local who's doing great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Our pleasure.
I feel like I'm on Frasier.
By the way, I wanted to ask this, Jennifer Cram.
Yes.
What were your nicknames growing up with Cram?
I don't think I'm allowed to say that on the air.
Okay. I had a feeling. Yeah. I wasn't sure.
You earned your stripe.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Let's hear it for Jennifer Cram on the Preston and Steve Show. All right. So I want to take a break. Can we break and come back, or do you want to do this? Casey says he's got some kind of surprise for us.
Listen,
I like surprises.
We don't need to take a break for this surprise. It's not going to take very long. I would say
we can start.
I would say let's just start it now because I don't want to build it up too much.
Is it biscuits?
It's close.
Okay.
Oh, it's food.
It's food, and it's something that was mentioned on this show.
Oh, I know it. Well, okay.
Let's bring you don't need to guess. It's not a guessing game. But
come on in.
Come on in.
I don't know.
Mr. Meltaway.
Oh, my God. Kev.
How are you,
John
man?
Kev, he is an old friend of ours, has brought in these cookies.
Jennifer, you have to try one.
That are to die for. How's it going? What's up, John?
Hey,
nice to see you.
You want to talk about an intern? Here was one of our interns from years ago.
One of our earliest interns from way back.
I totally agree with Steve. Interning, way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I keep on remembering that one interview you guys had with Bert and how we started out. It's like you will never know what projection you will get.
Yeah.
And from my start with you guys back in, I think
1998, 99,
99 is when I started.
It's unbelievable.
I never would have ended up where I am today. So,
Which is bringing us Meltaway.
Thank you. Yes.
Are you
Full
still
circle.
with the Eagles?
I stopped the Eagles a couple of years ago. The season after the first Super Bowl.
Yep.
In 2018. But right now I'm working in Conshohocken.
All right.
Sencora Global Headquarters on First Avenue.
All right.
Executive guest services. So it's.
You guys
really
know how
exciting.
he got his internship? Do you know how it started?
No.
I was out to lunch with Daniela Choka.
I know, yes,
Okay, so
we
you
love
remember
her.
Daniela's married
Yeah.
to John Galletti.
Yeah.
And so we were sitting at this little sandwich shop in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, and Sean was sitting at the table next to us. Sean and I were literally wearing the same exact Fish concert T-shirt.
We were, yeah.
And that is how we ended up striking up a conversation.
Wow.
He found out, what I did for a living, and this is on Yale Avenue, which is like maybe 2 blocks from where you grew up.
It is, yes.
And then I said, and back then it was like, oh, you'll work for free? Come on in.
Yep,
Step
totally.
on in.
We didn't even have to ask management. Nothing.
No.
Nothing. Come on in.
Yes.
We'll show you what to do.
By the way, Casey.
Yeah.
I gotta say something, man.
Yes.
Your the little battle you have with Kathy with no Delco.
Yeah.
That one question that you got wrong. What was the name of the Countryside Market before it was Countryside Market? There were 3 different names. And
One was Soups. It was Soups because Jason Suppresso used to own it, and then it was Countryside Market, and it was something else.
It was a convenience store called Eddie's, Albert's, or Evans, and you had to answer one of them. I was like, oh, come on, Casey.
Look at you, scarred him.
I know what the name of it is. He owned it.
All right, break out a Meltaway. Give a Meltaway.
let's go.
Give a Meltaway to Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer, you got to try these. These cookies are out of this world. His mom makes them. Did your mom make these?
These are this dates back to my great aunt Bert.
Aunt Bert.
And Bert Reynolds.
Did your mom wrap them up like that?
Yes.
That's so nice.
So these are called Bertie's Best for some sort of reason. They can no longer be called the other name.
Okay, they're way better than my Aunt Frank's.
They were originally called Big Macs.
Here you go, Steve.
Oh,
I know you love.
I do.
But yeah, as you guys know, this dates back to when I first started with everyone at Y100, and I'd always bring them in. And I guess,
Jen, what do you think?
These are really good.
They're excellent.
And
Mom
I
should sell these.
I was telling Marissa while I was waiting, I was like, I just had the radio on out of the blue a couple weeks ago, and you guys were talking about these snacks, and I heard Meltaway, and of course my ears perk up. I was like, well, I'm
You're a
off.
go-getter.
Thanks, man.
I'm
That's really
on
nice of you.
It's our pleasure.
Appreciate it.
These were usually like a Christmas time treat, right?
Yeah. Christmas
We're getting them
time.
early this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is now a Halloween treat.
Before Camp Out for Hunger.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Well, we love it, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah,
Likewise, good to see you,
All right,
everyone.
well, we'll hang out and we'll chat for a bit off air.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And it's Jennifer Cram approved.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, excellent. All right, well, listen, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a minute. We're going to eat our cookies. We'll return, and we'll have more entertainment for you after we get our treats. Stay with us.
Just doing a little rehearsing here and there and writing whatever you may be doing. But is there a difference between being, keeping the instrument fresh and being on stage? Or do you have to get your stage legs together, essentially, is what I'm asking?
I mean, I don't know. We've been doing it for so long. And, believe it or not, Jane's Addiction has historically taken years off, years of hiatuses. And so, we're just coming out of COVID, and it's been a while since we've been on stage, but we are ironically very used to getting back together after years of not doing it. So hopefully we are experienced in trying to make it look seamless once we get back on the stage. But usually when the first downbeat happens and Perry gets into his trip, it's pretty easy to get lost in that environment and just kind of go back to second nature.
Yeah.
You know, fortunately, a lot of these songs have been with us for 30 years, you know, so it should be pretty seamless.
You know, I'm sorry to interrupt. Dave Grohl has this special coming out about the van life, evolutionary period of a band. Was that you guys? Was that Jane's? Were you guys doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We our first tour was in a van with the entire band and the one crew member that we had and all of our gear in a U-Haul behind us, and like literally taking turns driving and just freezing and sick and hating each other and in close quarters. And when you do get to a motel, you all share a room. Like it was, you know, the early days were rough stuff.
Well, I was surprised to find out when Dave is mentioning when Nevermind came out, this album is out. It's starting to hit. They're still in a van traveling to shows. It is, you know, this is a groundbreaking record. This is huge. This is rock and roll history right here. And they're still driving around a van. When Nothing Shocking, were you guys still doing the van thing when that came out?
I know that we had a couple of tiers. So we went from a van to what we thought was a great idea, which was a Winnebago.
Okay.
So it wasn't quite a bus. It was a Winnebago. It was literally like a mobile home. And we broke out a window. One of the side windows got shattered somehow. So we were literally touring around the East Coast in the dead of winter.
Oh, no.
With just freezing cold 75-mile-an-hour wind just wafting through the Winnebago.
Did you try to tape up like a trash bag or something?
Well, you try. Yeah, you try everything. And then finally at some point you're like, fuck it, we'll deal with it. And we just... we just sat there and like dealt with it. But I think that, you know, I think there's something to be said about those old days that like we really, I don't know that we would be the same band without them. You know, we really had to, I mean, there were gigs, we were putting in vans and we'd pull up to the club and we would load out and load in our own gear ourselves. So it would be like a Jane's Addiction show. Thank you, good night. And then start winding up cables and putting guitars in cases and trying to push your amp off the stage, get ready for the next band. I really appreciate having had those experiences. As much as I would never want to do them again, I think they really taught us how to be a band.
I was in my 20s. I was a band guy. I'm a drummer, and so just a couple of last year, I was like. I got together with some guys. We created a cover band, and we went out. We played some gigs, and I tell you what, Dave, on that first night, at 3:00 in the morning, when we're putting the last bit of crap back into the van, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking, man? This sucks. You know?
It's a little different when you're 17 and you're pushing stuff in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, right now, like, my lower spine cannot handle carrying an amp.
It's just not going to happen.
Dave, we're able to Zoom with you right now, and looking over your shoulder, is that a cuckoo clock up on the wall? And if so, what's the story behind that?
Actually, there's probably 12 of them in this house. I collect them. That's cool. It's just a weird thing. And, you know, cuckoo clocks, when I was a kid, that was like in cartoons, that was the symbol of crazy.
Yeah.
Like if someone was crazy, you'd see a little cuckoo or a bird would come out. And I just kind of came with this whole embracing. I do a company called Dual Diagnosis, which is it's an art/clothing company that's geared at lifting the stigma of mental health issues.
Right.
And you know, there's a whole story behind the cuckoo. I don't know if you know about it, but if you look inside that box, it's all complicated gears and springs and coils and wires. There's this little bird that's trapped in there. It can't fly out because it's held down by these weights.
Yeah.
You see the weights that hang down?
Right.
Which could be, you know, its emotional baggage, for instance. And so until it drops that baggage, it can't fly and reach its full potential.
Wow.
And it's locked in this confusing box that's making it crazy. So, yeah, I collect them, and then we also use them artistically throughout the Dual Diagnosis company, and that's spelled DUAL diagnosis, and dualdiagnosis.com.
Well, I never realized there were so many metaphors attached to a cuckoo clock, but I
think that I invented them, but they work.
But that's good. I can completely see that because I'm fascinated by little mechanisms and the artistry of that stuff, animatronic things, and all of that. Have you yourself ever designed a cuckoo clock?
I designed what I called a cuckoo clock wristwatch. Was when I took that clock and I duct taped it on my arm.
Okay, that counts.
This is a crazy watch, but no, I'm not a tinkerer. For instance, I love watches. I love components. I love things that work like that. But I mean, these things, you know, they're kind of genius, and the implications, like the humorous implications that they contain, are kind of funny, and you just don't see them anymore. But if you look around my house, like I think there's one over there.
Yeah.
There's one there. There's one on the other side. So there's like 15 of them in here. But the best part is that they're all set at different times.
Yeah.
So throughout the day, just a different bird is coming out.
That's great.
And it will literally drive you insane. I mean, if you're not insane already, put up 5 cuckoo clocks. You know what it's like.
Yeah, you know, my sister's actually obsessed with cuckoo clocks as well, but she does not have one. Maybe that is a good gift for me to get for her.
It's a great gift, and they you know they make them battery operated now, but the ones that are really special are the ones that are handmade, that use the actual weight system to have the time tell time. And even the pendulum has to be hung at the right length. Otherwise, it's going to either tick too fast or too slow.
Okay.
So they're very complicated things, but they are interesting to be obsessed with.
I completely get it. Yeah.
I did not expect to be talking about those.
Well, I'm sure you're not going to expect to talk about this either. Are you wearing a Snuggie right now?
No, right now I am wearing it's like a hooded cape. This is like for outdoors life.
That's pretty
ceremonial outdoor life, and it happens to be 7 a.m. here in LA, and I just happen to be freezing. But I will tell you this: I am not opposed to a straight up Snuggie either.
No, why would you be?
Dave, who would you say between you and Perry? You guys are artists to the core.
Yeah.
Who's a little more quirky in their personality? Is it you or Perry?
We both have a lot of, I guess, independent thought, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I would say that, I would say Perry, just because being a front man of a band like this and having to have that sensibility and be on every night and deliver every night, like I get to turn around and hide behind the guitar and like get lost in my instrument, which I love, because I did a solo tour in 2000, and I just came to learn that I didn't love it. I didn't love leading the band. I didn't love being the lead singer. I didn't love the eyes. I didn't love the pressure. And Perry can do that really well, and he, in fact, loves it. So I would say that there is a component to his personality that allows him to be that extroverted on stage and do it with authority and conviction. So I don't know if I would say he's more quirky, but I would say that he has what it takes to front a band.
Yeah,
better than most, I would say. And I think along with that kind of mentality, you've got to have some walls down, to allow yourself to be that raw in front of people.
Totally.
And while at the same time having certain walls up. So I think it's a microcosm of some kind of very strange dance that goes into being a lead singer. And, he's, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the best frontmen that have been around in the past 30 years.
Is it hard, speaking to that point about, because you let a lot of you out, with your love of the tattoos and artistry and the cuckoo clocks and things that are part of you. Is it hard when you are in the public eye the way you are? And you're talking about Perry being more up front and being the front man, but you are a personality. You are a pop culture personality. Is it hard to know I'm going to keep this just for me, you know? Do you know what I'm saying? Where you're not always revealing stuff about you.
Oh, no. I mean, things that I like and things that are interesting to me aren't really revealing anything. And those aren't like deep personal issues that whether or not I like cuckoo clocks, I better keep that to myself or I feel exposed.
It's too personal.
Like I don't feel exposed.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've also taken it upon myself and years ago, like I wrote a book and I put out a documentary that were about very difficult things in my life. And I think that the intention and hopefully the joy of that was to help others feel less alone that were in similar situations, whether it's grief or trauma or drug addiction or any of the things that I've been through. You know, it's I like to share with people that there's an alternative way, you know, and that it is possible to get past that stuff. And even though the demon of addictive behavior may be with you for your life, it's about channeling that addictive behavior into an area that can be healthy for you.
Well, yeah,
So,
I'm sober for 9+ years at this point, and I just know that it was important for me to see and interact with people who were living a sober life, a happy and content sober life. But then there were also other people that, you know, like musicians, Trey Anastasio being one of them. I'm a fish head. You know, he had been sober for a couple of years at that point. When I saw, I'm like, okay, here's somebody that's doing it. And I was able to gain strength through them. And so when you do that and you're outspoken about whatever struggles that you have gone through, there are people out there that really do hold on to that and gravitate towards that.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I would say is that, you know, the company I'm running, Dual Diagnosis, is all about mental health. I put out a book that was about my drug addiction. I put out a film that was about my mom's death. You know, it does resonate with a lot of people sometimes, you know, if they've got similar circumstances. But, you know, at the same time, I'm not a doctor. And so those people will come to me personally and say, I'm going through this and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, look, I already told you what I went through and how I dealt with it, but I can't advise, you know, like a doctor would. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's, you know, you need to find a team of your own. But I think that that's not the tough part. I don't really think there is a tough part to it. I think that as long as you're comfortable with who you are and what you've been through.
WMMR.
I'm wondering when that tractor trailer happened, because I drove by it at, I go through the county tolls right about 4:30 every morning.
Yeah.
And they had already, they had already had all the flares set up. There were 30 flares set up. All the stuff was closed off. So it had been there for a while. By the time I got there at 4:30 this morning, but I'm telling you, I've never seen anything quite like it. It was a 2 trailer rig flipped completely on its side. And I'm like, that is going to be a major pain, and they're still not even, able to clear that out of there as of now. So that's
a nightmare. And then obviously you have to pull over and see if anything's fallen out that you could take.
Right, of course,
because that is the rule, right? If it falls
once it falls out
on the road, it's up for grabs.
No, but once we know that the driver's okay, I was wondering. I'm like, what? Like, this is all. I'm thinking of like Amazon orders that say your package has been delayed, and like me as a consumer, I get annoyed. I'm like, well, why is it delayed?
Right.
Well,
you think about did the driver survive?
Yeah.
It'd be wild to be in the cab of a truck, like sitting up that high as it falls over on its side.
Yeah.
Would be terrifying.
Yeah, it did. The cab didn't look too beat up or anything like that, thankfully. So I have a feeling the guy was okay.
Was it on a turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was right at that Norristown exit.
Okay.
So right
Like
by the Metroplex.
Okay, so like so he probably came through the tolls.
Yeah.
And then
then making a turn. And it was wet this morning.
Yeah,
so
those are all the elements. I keep a metal straw in case I have to do a tracheotomy.
Oh, God,
sometimes you never know. You
Good
never
call.
know.
Yeah.
And I've seen it on television.
You need to get a metal straw that has a sharpened point on the end of it. That way you can just pop it right into their throat.
That's why your name's first.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that area, Plymouth meeting, they caught the bear.
They caught the bear.
They caught the bear. Yep,
Yeah.
Dog the bear.
Dog the bear.
The black bear that was running around the Plymouth Meeting Mall in that general area. They got him.
The bear.
And they wait one more time, please. Dog the bear.
Dog the bear.
Holy no way.
Yeah, holy no way. Yeah, they caught him on Friday.
No way.
Yeah, they for real. They did.
No way.
For real.
Holy no way. No way.
The Pennsylvania Game Commission got him on
Did
Friday.
they do the thing
Yeah,
where
for real, man?
Where he was sleeping in the
No way.
tree and then they trank him out of the tree
No,
and he falls.
I will tell you. I will tell you how they did it. They used a cylindrical contraption that looks like basically a giant beer can or something, and they loaded it with donuts.
This is a
And that's how
very
they did it.
common way of catching, an animal like that, like
Donuts?
a bear.
And
they'll put sweets in. Yes,
Casey, they didn't tranquilize him, and I found the reason they did not tranquilize him very interesting. Why would you think that they would not tranquilize the bear?
I don't know.
So that if they return him into the wild, a hunter can kill him and eat him instead of because there's 30 days.
Okay.
That after they've been tranquilized, that they have to wait through before the meat is safe for consumption.
Quick question: have you ever had bear meat?
No.
Bear chili.
Really?
Bear chili.
Yeah, so I
course
went
you
to
have.
school in the central part of the state, and a lot of my friends were hunters. And I have two hunting stories about bears. Okay. The first is this one guy hunted a black bear, killed it, chopped it up, and we had chili. It was delicious. The second is another one of the guys killed a 600-pound male black bear in the middle of a hunting game in north central PA, and was not able to get it out of the woods because of how he was miles away from anything.
Wow.
And he
600 pounds.
Sometimes you'll take an ATV out and where you're going to go
Right.
hunting for the purpose of dragging that carcass back out. And he started to skin it to to do the thing you need to do.
Field dress it.
Field dress it. Thanks. And
No way.
it was so heavy and so unwieldy that he could not get it out of the woods.
I believe that. I mean, at a certain point, if you are well into the woods and you have 600, I don't care. Even with the skin off, it's going to weigh a
Yeah,
lot.
but why not have some sort of a collapsible
Tractor.
Cart. Well, not tractor, but cart of some sort. I mean, you can
Your
get
bear cart.
some wheels and
yes, that would make sense. Something on the order of a yeah.
What are you laughing at over there?
Yeah, because your bear cart. Your bear
Standard bear
I'm not
cart.
laughing at your idea. I thought it was
You got
funny.
one for the beach.
You got your bear
right?
cart. Yeah.
Just convert the one you use for the beach to bring your stuff out.
Yeah, for hunting
into
season.
a bear cart.
Hunting season, it's a bear cart.
Or
beach season, it's a beach cart.
Preston, couple tanks of helium, balloons.
Oh,
Yeah.
float them out. I don't know.
It's all it will work.
Yeah.
No way.
It will work.
That guy doesn't believe anything.
No, he's very disenchanted with the whole thing.
So you're saying you take some type of a collapsible. What do they call the thing? What is the thing you fashion if someone injures themselves and you can drag them out? Nick, you
A
would know.
hospital.
No,
A stretcher?
it's you drag it.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about.
In fact, when they had to get
That's what I'm saying. Bring wheels so you don't have to drag it.
No, but they it's an actual. You've seen in countless survival stories where it basically looks like a stretcher.
Yeah, it's got
but
a
it's
name. I don't
modified.
know.
It's probably called a stretcher.
Yeah, but there's a device that you can, using limbs and things like that you can create to drag someone out if you don't have the capability to lift and carry them.
Well,
I forgot what it's called.
If you watch Gilligan's Island, they were able to make a car. Yeah.
Which is out of Lake Coconut.
Casey, there's a deer cart. Nick just pulled up a product.
Yeah, but you can't put a bear in a deer cart.
No,
it's considered bad taste.
Yeah, that's bad cricket.
Yeah.
I was Steven, I know you like tactical stuff, so I saw this thing ended up on my Instagram feed. It looked like it. How flammable is a bear?
How flammable? Well, a lot of people will start their backyard barbecues with a bear.
Like they're
Chuck another bear on the front. I assume they're not incredibly flammable.
All right,
because
because
you probably have to use some sort of accelerant.
I don't think anyone has ever asked that question before.
Yeah, how flammable is a bear?
I will guarantee you that
Okay.
Native Americans asked that very same question.
Yeah, but not in English.
No.
What is why?
Well, because I thought so. You have bear spray, which is just mace that shoots a little bit further away. But like
You want to get rid of the propane heating at home, don't you?
No.
Oh, you.
No, but I wasn't sure if there was like some sort of anybody. You guys are all watching Loki. If there was like some sort of like prod that you could use that could like fire out like a fireball, which could do one of two things: scare the crap out of the bear and it runs away,
or set the bear on fire.
Set the bear on fire,
which is a problem.
How did this forest fire start?
Well, it was a flaming bear. Two flaming bears and a white Russian.
To back up, the thing that I was talking about creating is called a litter.
A litter.
That's what it's called.
Right.
Yes.
So the bear gets in this big box and takes a dump.
Right.
And then you use a full-size snow shovel to scoop it.
It's also called a travois, or someone says it's called a Stokes basket too. So there are
And a
variety of names,
bashmere.
but a litter is what I've heard before.
So I asked that question: how flammable is a bear? And it had me thinking about something.
What other animals you could light?
Well, I was going to propose this to you guys last
Most
night.
flammable animals in the wild.
Oh, stay away from porcupines. They go up like that.
That thing's a tinderbox.
I don't know. Porcupines, I feel like, are
absolutely.
not as flammable.
Just strike a porcupine against.
What do you think? Do you think a lamb? Lamb's got to be pretty flammable,
Oh,
right?
that wool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's flammable. Lamb.
Although,
Right? Well, lamb a bull.
Flammable.
And bulls
Yeah.
are flammable.
Although sheep, they do also produce lanolin, which keeps that wool kind of greasy a little
wool.
bit. So it might, unless it's flammable lanolin,
Flammable.
Which is the
Flammable
worst
lanolin.
kind of lanolin.
That's the name of my punk band.
Flammable lanolin.
Flammable lanolin.
All right. How effective would fighting a bear with a flamethrower? Wait, the bear has a flamethrower?
No,
That's impossible.
you have the flamethrower.
Oh, you have the flamethrower.
Like most of the bears are afraid of fire. Well, that stands to reason.
There is a Reddit thread. What is the most flammable animal?
Oh, here we go.
Okay,
And apparently, Casey, and this actually has a little bit of merit to it, a cow, which produces a lot of methane,
Well, there you go.
might be flammable.
Oh,
Yeah.
they'll just explode, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
If you're saying if you were to take a torch,
if lit at the right moment around a cow, they would explode.
All right.
Let's see.
Seals and whales, because of a lot of the fat, they
Well-
burn whale
Yes.
blubber, right?
the lanterns were
Yeah.
there was a big part of why the whaling industry existed.
But I'm worried about the fur because if a person
Whales don't
gets,
have fur.
If a person gets their hair caught on fire, it just goes up like that. Like is animal fur, or is there any animal fur that is like that?
I would assume yes, some kind that's similar.
I told you guys this story about the lady I had to smack in the back of the head during a concert because somebody got their cigarette caught in her hair and she had no
I thought
idea
she
that
was-
her hair was on fire.
Yeah, that's right.
It was the only thing I could do.
Yeah, you did the right thing. And then she turned around and was all pissed off, right?
Yeah, I was like, "You're on fire."
It could be very confusing
so hot.
if that happens because someone's hitting you and you turn around and they tell you your hair is on fire. And then you have to determine whether or not that was a joke or not. Or, of course, you can smell it because there's very few things that are as putrid as burning human hair.
It's a horrible smell.
Yeah.
Do you ever do the kick a guy in the nuts and say there was a bee?
I've never done that, but I'll try it.
Dude, why did you do that? There's a bee on your nuts. No way. Holy no way.
Holy no way.
No way. No, there was.
No.
No way.
What is this, Nick?
So there are ants that that explode.
Yes.
They are called. Oh man, I lost it. They're a Southeast Asian type of ant. They can explode at their nests to protect it from an intruder. So it says some insects explode altruistically. So they're giving up themselves to protect the colony.
This
They're like suicide.
This Wikipedia page, is this Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Are about animals that explode. And let me tell you why cows. Here's an example of a cow exploding. In January 1932, an Australian newspaper reported an incident where a dairy cow was partially blown up and killed on a farm. The cow had reputedly picked up a detonator in her mouth.
Well, there you go.
While grazing in a paddock. And this was only triggered later when the cow began to chew her cud at a time when she was in the process of being milked. The cow had its head blown off by the resulting explosion. The farmer milking the cow was knocked unconscious.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
That is
an amazing story.
That's got to be the ultimate freak accident.
Why isn't that a movie?
Wow.
Man, there were explosive rats used in war.
Really?
So the British would put, oh my God.
You pull the tail out and throw it.
Steve, they would put explosives inside of a rat, the British would, and to be used against the Germans. rat carcasses were filled with plastic explosives and distributed near German boiler rooms.
Oh, my God.
Oh, where they would be disposed of by burning.
Yeah.
So they would leave them dead, and then they would think they're going to get rid of them by burning them, maybe throwing them in the boiler, I don't know.
Probably.
And then boom,
right?
blowing it up.
Incinerating them.
That's kind of interesting.
It's a fun novelty item.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
Exploding rat.
It's a can full of snakes, exploding rats.
Wow. Case, you started this conversation. What are you looking up over there?
It says, my cat jumped next to a candle and its fur caught immediately.
Oh.
She was surprised when my mom swatted the flames out, so I guess cat fur goes right up.
Okay. I would imagine a lot of animals' hair burns fairly
So
quickly.
the idea would be you would be able to chase a bear with some sort of flame apparatus?
I wouldn't chase a bear, but if I were being
I'd
chased,
cook one.
but if I were being chased by a bear and I had no other choice,
Right.
I also had another thought.
Throw a bomb rat at him.
If I was being attacked by a bear or like a cougar or something like that, what about just shoving your hand down their throat so that they choke to death? Would that work?
Thank you.
Well, I've heard that if, say, you have a dog that is like latched onto your arm or something like that, rather than try to pull away, you should push forward into the dog's mouth to make it open its mouth more.
Right.
And that, or maybe even cause him to gag a little bit or something like that, and you can get out. So maybe there's truth to shoving your arm down a cougar's throat.
Or kick it in the balls.
Yeah.
I would say that there's a whole series. I forget what channel had it, but it was about surviving animal attacks.
Yeah,
when animals attack.
All right. So anyhow, yes, the bear, the black bear in Plymouth meeting.
The bear.
They caught it with Boston creams.
No way.
Thursday night, and they said this was important as staff try not to tranquilize bears during hunting season, which would mean the meat couldn't be consumed for 30 days.
That's wild.
The bear was transported to State Game Lands 211, which spans Dauphin, Lebanon, and Schuylkill counties on Friday afternoon. The land includes thousands of acres that are managed by the Pennsylvania Game Commission and are open for hunting and trapping.
Huh.
So the bear they put him in the danger zone, unfortunately. But, it is what it is. And, part of the reason I guess they do have the hunting season is because of the
bear population.
And our population. Unfortunately, we're kind of overtaking their population, but the safety lies with the humans.
Are they solitary animals? I mean,
I believe so.
For the most part,
when they're not.
Grizzly bears and Kodiak. Well, grizzly bears are. Kodiak are not.
What about black bears?
Okay, I was going to say when they're raising their young, they're
Right.
familial, but I think they eventually become solitary. But maybe it varies from
You ever see
breed to breed. I don't know.
School of bear?
No. Thundering on the plains.
What do they call a group of bears?
A gherkin.
Oh, so a gherkin, a bear. Yeah, you don't see gherkins a bear very much.
Maybe it depends on what kind of bear.
Says bears are
Right.
solitary by nature, except when in family groups or get-togethers. They often like square dancing and others.
No, it doesn't say that. Except when the family groups of mothers and cubs are in pairs during the mating season. But they're solitary.
So there was an email that went out to my HOA because apparently the deer population has been growing quite a bit, and so
Well, just don't let them buy in that area.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it. But the question was whether or not we would be okay with them culling. The deer, and I voted no. And I think it was like one vote per household. And I was talking to somebody else about it, but they were all for it. And I'm like,
so what? There are legitimate ramifications to having, and the deer population itself will.
Yeah,
starve.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know all the specifics, or I don't want to suggest I have any sort of authority on this issue. But it a lot of times when it's done, it seems for good reasons.
Listen, hunting is regulated for a reason. They try to keep an eye on the numbers, and they do it so that there's not unneeded suffering for the animals, and also for those who enjoy the sport and also the sustenance that they might get from killing. So there's a reason behind it all.
yeah, I think when they do this culling, they end up giving the meat to like
the bears.
Well, no, like soup kitchens and stuff like that.
Sure,
right.
Probably.
That's what they do with the exploding rats.
They give those to like soup kitchens.
Man, that's a good exploding rat. What did you put in that? C4.
So Pennsylvania Game Commission. Let's see. The bear, which wasn't processed.
Is this hand-shucked rat?
So the Game Commission doesn't know what gender it is, was taken to an area near Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Ah, sweetest place on earth.
Right.
Oh, the Hershey Bears.
A bear would love that. Hershey Bears.
Yeah.
There you go.
How about that?
In a video provided by the Game Commission, a staff member opened the doors to the donut trap, and the bear bolted into the woods.
I'm free.
So he's gone. But he did take a swim around here. Kind of got used to the area.
Really? Yeah. Again, I say this, and they look cute. They will slice and dice you 9 different ways, but they do look adorable.
By the way, speaking of sweet stuff like donuts, today, October 30th, is National Candy Corn Day.
So this juxtaposed, I agree with you, by the way, juxtaposed right to Halloween. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
I'm not a candy corn guy. Never. Are you?
No. When I was a kid, I loved it, and now I eat 1 or 2 of them, and you go, yeah,
it's like wax.
It's not preferred.
And what is the purpose? Is it supposed to mimic the color pattern of actual
Have you ever seen them
corn?
like stacked on top of each other?
No.
Oh, yeah. So if you take
Will
them
it look like corn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, now I see.
Oh my God, I never knew that.
I never knew that.
I
No.
never knew that.
So the candy I hate actually has a merit.
Yeah, it looks like corn. In the late 1800s, here's the guy who invented it. George Renninger of Wonderly Candy Company created it. His sweet treat represented the bright colors of corn kernels. Originally, candy corn was yellow, orange, and white. However, it wasn't until 1889 that the Gottlieb's Candy Company made the candy popular. Later, other candy makers developed a variety of popular colors and flavors as well. The original confection was made by hand using corn syrup, sugar, water, marshmallows, fondant, and
I don't like the fondant.
Carnauba wax. Carnauba wax, I guess is how you say that, which is a wax made from the leaves of palm trees.
So is that canuba? Is that like canuba oil?
Or
is it carnauba?
Carnauba.
Okay.
Carnauba.
Huh. Okay. One of my issues with candy corn is that it's too sweet. Very sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty much just straight up sugar.
I want something more natural, like circus peanuts.
Right. No, but it's corn syrup, sugar, water, marshmallows, fondant, and that wax. So, there are people that stand firmly with candy corn and how awesome it is, and others who absolutely detest it.
I think I'm in the middle of the road. I used to defend it, and now I just don't care anymore. But I don't hate it. And if there's a bowl of it right in front of me, I'll have some of that.
They're okay.
Delicious.
I mean,
I won't try to regulate against it.
Given all the better things out there,
that's where I stand.
I don't really consider it.
I'm not going to waste a lot of time on candy corn, but if it's the only sweet in front of me, I'll choose it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there's some of those older things like Steve had mentioned, circus peanuts, and that all kind of rank in this category. There was a time where I really did like circus peanuts. I loved them as a kid.
Did you? Yeah.
What about those little orange slices?
I hate them.
Yeah, no, I like them too.
Jellies, yeah.
The orange jellies that are totally sugar coated. Yeah, that
because there's not enough sugar.
That all was a lot of those you would find at the Brock's.
Yeah.
Candy.
Brock's.
They had containers that you can scoop out and make little bags
those
of
little,
them.
Yeah, those little candy
there was
shops.
Also now I don't remember what it was called, but it would have been in the same area as these Brock's candies. They were kind of tan in color, Steve, and you would look at them and think they were like it's an old person.
Yeah.
Type of candy,
like a butterscotch.
It's not butterscotch, but it was. They weren't chocolate either, but they were like a light tan, almost like a mocha,
like a Mary Jane bar.
No, No, they weren't covered or anything
How were they
like
packaged?
that.
It was loose.
They weren't packaged; they were loose.
Oh. And the consistency,
like your mom. No.
And they were loose like your mother.
Man, I wish I remembered what those were.
They were chewy candies.
Not like chewy, like jellies and stuff like that.
Right, like a caramel.
Yeah, but a little less. God,
like a bit of honey.
It's not that chewy.
Like a Mary Jane.
I already said Mary Jane.
Too much.
Too much.
Like a Mary Jane, though.
Getting closer.
Shut up.
Steve already said Mary Jane.
I know. Forget it. Somebody's gonna have to call in or text and help me out with that. But anyhow,
those were old.
That all ranked. Candy corn ranked in that realm.
Brock's, Russell Stover, Whitman's, all those candy samplers you would find at the drugstore.
Yeah, exactly.
That you get for a last minute gift.
Man, so I've been.
Is that it?
No, that's not it. They're not wrapped. They're not individual. They're loose.
Huh.
Anyway,
like your mother.
Like your mom. So I've been eating really well for the past, month and a half or something like that, and I've stayed away from sweets and things like that. Well, my best friend is in town, so
did that go to hell?
That all goes out the window. And I've been indulging a little bit more. And man, once you start to, it's a slippery slope. It is hard. It feeds itself.
It really does.
It causes you to crave that more, the sweet stuff.
So I had a recent lapse. I've been doing the intermittent fasting, and then it took my wife's brownies to send me down basically. So I literally woke up in an alleyway after giving 2 hobos hand jobs.
I think there's something biological happening because we're entering into the cold season. So, much like the fat bear season, I think that there's fat human season. And
Maybe.
I think that there's just something inane about us that causes us to
innate.
Yeah, innate or inane.
Not innate.
Whatever. What did I say?
Inane.
Okay, innate.
Yeah, innate about us. Yes,
Yeah.
I could see the merit in that.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something as humans we need to fatten up around this time.
And also, if you're generating body heat, are you not? You're burning calories, so you are. Your body requires a whole tray of brownies.
Somebody texted in about sugar babies.
Sugar babies.
Those are like jelly bean size. Imagine one that's like bigger than that. Like,
I'm trying. I'm sure I've seen it.
Is it the was it peanut shaped like marshmallow candy?
No, that's circus peanuts.
Oh.
Those are orange.
God damn it!
I'll find it. But thank you, Kathy. I appreciate you.
We can put a man on the moon, and we can't figure this out.
All right, but anyway, it's National Candy Corn Day if you're interested. Speaking of food, though, and edible, not edibles. We're not going to talk about edibles here. That was my whole weekend.
Wait. Is that it?
Nope, that's not it.
Son of a bitch.
That's a licorice candy stick. No, that's not it. I'll find it.
They spelled licorice.
Swear to
weird.
God, I'll find it.
They spelled it like liquor, like
It's the bear
booze,
way. Yeah.
instead of LICOR.
Yeah.
It's odd.
So it's not caramel creams, right?
Wait a minute. Caramel creams?
Yeah.
What do those look like?
Well, they're tan, but they got a little white center.
Little white spot.
Like a cowtail?
No.
Cowtails are just long caramel creams.
Are they?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, but those would have been in the same area.
Are they caramel creams? No, are they
Ooh.
Getz's caramel creams?
And caramel creams were individually wrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can buy like a full package. Yeah.
All right, I have a different food thing. This is
No way.
I meant to put this in the connoisseur last week, but I didn't have time to do it. There's a restaurant in Georgia that is now getting some national attention because it is charging a fee to customers for bad parenting, and a good amount too. So it's called the Toco Riverside Restaurant.
Toco.
In the Blue Ridge Mountains. I guess that's how you pronounce it. It's Toccoa.
That's how I'd say
Toco. So anyhow, it reads adult surcharge for adults unable to parent. And there are people who are posting online about this, and somebody wrote from a week ago, if you have children, absolutely avoid this place at all cost. Holy moly. Holy mama.
Holy no way.
Holy no way.
Holy no way.
No
way. No way.
The most disrespectful owner made a huge scene in front of the entire restaurant because our children were running through the restaurant. She said they were down by the river, but we were told we need to go. We need to go to Burger King and Walmart, and that we were bad parents. And they have a $50 surcharge for bad parenting.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
For real.
No way.
They
As
said,
judged by who?
the owners. They said, we are a group of 21, and our server was amazing and was overly apologetic. Terrible business practice. Will never be back.
So the clear thing is they're trying to appeal to patrons without children, correct?
Yeah.
And so they're advertising to those people, come here if you don't like children.
Yeah.
Or right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
probably.
that's the sales
Stuff
point.
like, yeah, we can go there because we don't have to worry about
what
any kids.
imbeciles. Is it clearly posted when you walk in?
I don't know.
I mean, that you couldn't just whip that on someone. Oh,
What
by the
about
way,
the-
we have a big nose tax here.
It's on its menu. It says
Okay.
there's a warning right on the menu.
So there are some restaurants. I have one specifically in mind. I'm not going to name it because I don't know if the owner. I know that he's done this purposely, but I don't know that he publicly puts it out there. But he designed his restaurant, his menu, his tables and chairs, everything in the restaurant to not accommodate children.
Okay.
So kids can come. He won't turn them away. But everything about the restaurants,
No chicken fingers on the menu?
There's nothing like that.
What are
Casey.
some of the other subtleties that he employs
Well,
to dissuade children from coming?
So tables and chairs.
Right, there are none.
There are none. No, they're just not. They're just not for a child.
Right.
One of the places has all high tops, so you really wouldn't bring a
Right.
kid. There's no height chairs, nothing like that in any of the restaurants. But they told me that it was done specifically for that. They're not going to turn a child away, but
It's
they're not going to make it
interesting.
easy for parents to bring them.
Yep.
So obviously you all have kids. I'm not. I have no problem. My wife and I don't, but we eating in a restaurant with kids. It all comes down to keeping the kids well behaved.
Yeah, I've never had an issue where I was like, oh my God, these people need to get a control of their children. Now,
they need to be charged $50.
But I'm also pretty lenient when it comes to that stuff. So I think more so if a kid is rambunctious and out of control, my heart goes out to the parents.
I've been the embarrassed parent.
Yeah.
I mean, and it didn't happen often when Ben was young, but like every now and then, and like, there were a few meltdowns where you're like, we have to go. We have to wrap up. We have to get the kid out of here.
Yep.
And then the mess that was made underneath the table, underneath the chair, like that was embarrassing. And you overtipped the server.
Yes.
And you apologize, profusely.
To the people around. My
Exactly.
inclination, Nick, in a case like that is I feel bad for the parents.
Exactly.
Especially if they're I'm sorry. I would not want to be in that situation. I get it. But you can't just not address it at all.
Yeah.
And let, the kids run around like lunatics.
I'm more interested in like an adults only like resort, and I don't mean like sexually. I mean just like no kids at the resort,
Yeah, they have a lot of them.
Oh, I know,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't care so much about restaurants, but if I'm going to go on vacation somewhere, I'd like to be a place where
Right.
kids aren't sometimes.
Yeah,
I was at a resort where there was actually an adult area. So they had a whole like square of rooms, and all of those pools and that bar and that restaurant were adult only.
I went to a place in Turks and Caicos it was for adults.
Yes.
It wasn't a porn place. It was
nice.
Just, no kids.
But you guys know that you've probably seen the parents who don't really put any effort into wrangling the kids and what's going on, and they're running around the restaurant and not staying at their table and getting into other people's business and the screaming and yelling and stuff like that. Now, if you have a baby that is just being loud, because sometimes maybe, and it's not always crying. Sometimes they're just happy and they're making all kinds of giddy noises and stuff like that. I'm a little more tolerant with that because there's only so much you can do with a child that's that age. It's a toddler. Take them outside maybe and let them cool off a little bit out there and check things out. Well, no, just let them be in a different environment for a moment or two can kind of change things up a little bit. But, I have seen parents where I'm like, okay, come on, do something with the kid. Do something.
Destroying the meal for
some
everyone.
Effort in. So they don't put up with it at this particular restaurant.
$50.
Yeah, according to this particular patron, the owner came out and told me that he was adding $50 to my bill because of my children's behavior. My kids watched a tablet until the food arrived, ate their food, and my wife took them outside while I waited and paid the bill. And it says, disappointed by the experience. So this one sounds like they didn't feel that their kids were doing anything wrong.
Right. And it could be a little, obviously it's arbitrary. It depends on whether they believe the kids are unruly or not.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess so.
Or is there like a decibel meter?
That doesn't seem like that would be chargeable. You know what I mean?
I think you should have to poll everyone in the restaurant and see if they've met the threshold.
That's a pretty good idea. Yeah, vote now. Have a little signaling
Have a little
buttons.
trial.
Yeah.
State your case. Ladies and gentlemen of the restaurant, our children are young and verbose.
But it's pretty ballsy for them to enact this type of thing. And I guess they don't care about return business or not.
They're looking for this kind of publicity. So that everyone goes, well, I don't want to eat with kids, so I'm going to go eat at the, what is it?
I forgot what it was called.
Tuco.
The Toco Riverside Restaurant. Somebody text in how to say that right? Thought they did. I don't know.
Yeah. Toccoa?
All right, that makes sense. Hang on, Mike's on the line. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, my buddy and I, his wife was working 12s on Friday. We used to call it guys' night out. His kids are in college now, but we always tease him about it now. That they were super little. We'd go to the noisiest damn place, pin him in a booth, be wearing like ice cream on my shirt and ranch dip all over me. And several times before the food even arrived, it's like he had to grab both kids going, hey, and I'd be like, yeah, I know. And the server would come back and they'd hand me my credit card going, hey, can you
you would subscribe to this notion of penalizing people for not controlling it.
Well, that's a tough one. I mean, like, if you're going to, like, a fancy... Again, I'm at a Chili's, so, I mean, it's pretty loud.
Yeah, you know what you're getting into. Yeah.
Right.
But
so we're intentionally going to the noisiest place we can possibly go to because, you know, we know his kids.
Yeah.
You know, and we pin them in a booth, and it's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
And you take the server going, hey, we tip well.
Yeah, no, you're doing the right thing. Listen, that kind of place is meant for a family where you're going to have noisy kids or whatever, and that's absolutely fine. And if you take care of your waiter or waitress, and you sort of apologize to the people around you, I don't see there being an issue.
Nah, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, it does depend on where you're going, where you are daring to take them.
5-star French restaurant.
Yeah. But these guys are charging $50, so keep that in mind if you're headed to Koa or wherever it is. All right, we're going to break. We're going to come back in a second. Some bizarre file stories are what is around the corner, and we'll be along with that shortly, so stay with
us. Behaviors can change.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's all we're doing. Like, I may not be doing drugs anymore, but... You know, now I'm in line at 1 a.m. at GameStop waiting for the next thing to come.
Dude, all right. Yes, that's exactly.
You know what I mean?
That is the right way to think about it. We have we all have the same doctor. He's kind of the he's on TV in here in Philadelphia, and he says, if I have to, I will write you a prescription for a video game because that's the stuff. To get that joy of something that doesn't have, like you say, you're not smoking crack. This is something you're
something
into.
That's not going to kill you.
Exactly. That you can get passionate. Like, I love living through other people's passions, and it excites me to revisit my own. Your cuckoo clock thing, or just the different things you talk about. That to me is something that people, they sometimes seem reticent to allow themselves. Well, it's just crazy. Should I really collect that, or is that do it? Because we just don't think that way a lot of times.
Well, ultimately, we're all here for however long we're here, and we are ultimately going to dissolve into the universe or whatever happens.
Right.
So, do what you love, as long as it's not hurting anybody else or yourself. Yep. Like, there's really, that this life was given to us for us to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I really feel strongly about that. And frankly, one of the things that I enjoy about life most is being able to perform with this band, and to come out and do that with you guys is what is that? The 25th, September 25th.
Correct. Yep.
I'm super pumped about that, and that's. I wouldn't be able to do that had I stayed on the path I was on.
Right.
So it's all, to me, it's all, this. I'm in the bonus round.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
I unlocked the little part of the game that allowed me to play in another room.
Yes.
I'm into it.
Dave, we're all excited about that as well. I wanted to ask, so every Tuesday we do a thing, it's called Tattoo Tuesday, and we give away a free tattoo every single Tuesday. And as a result, we used to do it here in the studio, and as a result, we've had several contestants and winners of Ink Master in our studio actually administering tattoo, which is really cool. Is Ink Master coming back to Paramount Plus by any chance? Do you know?
You know what? I honestly don't know. I heard that they were picking it up. That was the last I heard of it. The only thing that I can assume from not hearing anything is that they're rebooting it with a new cast. That's all I know.
That's all you know? All right.
In fact, I don't even know that because there's been very little dialogue. So I hear that Paramount Plus is going to pick it up. I guess they started a new streaming service.
Yep.
And, but I don't know. But I will tell you what's very funny about that is that Ink Master was a show that, it was on 10 years ago. It's hard to believe it was a decade ago that started, and we did 13 seasons. And then during the pandemic, Paramount sold a couple of seasons to Netflix. So now it's on Netflix, but these are old episodes.
Right.
But what that did was that opened us up to a whole new audience that had never seen us. And I started getting messages from people who were angry at me for certain people who got sent home 10 years ago.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like they thought
It's
it was
just now. Yeah.
Fuck you for sending Josh home. He was the one. Like, how dare you? I'm like,
Oh, my
who's
God.
Josh. I don't even know what you're talking about.
That's great.
But people get very passionate about that. I hope that when you give out tattoos, is there one artist that you use, or is there a resident artist? Or
Yeah.
There's a shop.
Yep. Yeah, one shop, several artists within that shop, and there's a guy named Troy here who is he's a big name in the tattoo industry in Philadelphia. Actually, he is responsible for a lot of the tattoo conventions all across the country.
Yep.
So he has a lot of guys and he's also super generous. So
do they get to decide what they are getting, or does it have to be a WMMR?
They
logo
have to include
on the throat.
They have to include us in there somewhere, and it can even be very, very subtle. That's all that we ask. So
Right.
yeah.
That's nice.
I'll the rabbit in the the Playboy cover. It can be very discreet. So yeah.
Some are more subtle
Do you
than
want to know
others.
something funny about this? Do you see this?
Yeah. That's the Playboy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a quick story. I was doing an interview with Hugh Hefner, and Hugh Hefner was talking about how the bunny. Well, first of all, it started out it was a stag. It was supposed to be a cartoon of a stag.
Okay, that makes
and
sense.
the night before the release, he couldn't sleep, and he got up in the middle of the night and called the designer and said, "I hate the stag. You got to come up with something else." So they scrambled at all hours of the night and landed on this bunny, which then became the most iconic thing, in terms of branding.
Wow. Huge.
And he went ahead to tell me that it is probably the #1 most tattooed logo of all time.
The Playboy bunny.
I believe it.
Wow.
And so at that moment, I said, has anybody in the history of tattooing this bunny asked you for permission? And he said, no, actually, nobody's ever asked. And I said, well, then let me be the first. Is it okay with you if I get the bunny tattooed? And he said, absolutely. So I have the one and only Hugh Hefner sanction.
Wow.
Like, I wouldn't have gotten this otherwise. But the fact that, what do I care? I'm gonna tell you. But the fact that Hugh sanctioned it and gave me the okay, and it's the only one that exists that's like that, was pretty special.
That's awesome.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. Excellent. Dave, we're really excited. Not only that you guys are playing the show, but that you took the time to join us on the program this morning. We really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, man. I'm looking forward to being out there. And are you guys going to be at the show?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. I would not miss your guys' set. So
We'll come back and say hello, will you?
Okay, for sure. Absolutely. Thank you so
All
much,
right,
Dave.
guys.
We'll see you in September. Dave
Pleasure.
Navarro,
Yeah.
guys. How about it? Wow. He's awesome. Super nice guy. And I bet you he could point to every single tattoo and tell a story like that as well.
What you're playing right here, I remember, Preston, when I first heard this song, I was like,
What's
whoa!
that? Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. Hey, the Oscars were last night. How about all of that? So yeah, they had a red carpet and the full deal. The documentary feature went to My Octopus Teacher. It's been mentioned several times on the show, so wanted to throw that in there. Accepting was the octopus.
Wow.
And there was no wrap-up music. He just kept sucking and clicking and doing that whole thing for a long time. So,
Is that him walking up?
Suction cups, yeah.
that's him walking up to the podium. It was awkward, but listen, I mean, he was the star of the film. So.
It is a hell of a movie if you get a chance to see
I do
it.
need-
Really,
I
think of
really-
a nomad land, but with sea creatures.
They really should have put the octopus in the in memoriam section. I don't know why they didn't.
Did he die?
Well, he's an octopus. I mean, the movie came out like 2 years ago.
How long does your average octopus live?
I'll bet
The
they
length
live
of a documentary movie.
I'll bet they live longer than you think.
No,
And I'll
they
bet
don't.
who's
They
out.
live like a year.
I don't.
Really?
Yeah, watch the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait,
you saw it too, Kathy?
Yeah,
I saw
it's
the movie
great.
and I don't remember that shocking piece of
That's
news.
sad.
What?
Poor thing.
All right,
well,
I'm
maybe it
gonna
was a
check
thing.
it out.
3 to 5 years.
3 to 5
All right,
years.
see, they're already getting longer lives.
See, he
One-
could still
1 year.
He could have accepted the award.
I wouldn't have wasted time with this dickhead then if I was an actor. I got a little living to do, baby.
All right, Yolanda Hadid
I know Yolanda.
is in love with. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
In love with her daughter Gigi Hadid's daughter Kai.
So she loves her granddaughter?
She does.
Oh, my
Steve.
God.
I told
So
you.
who got the scoop on this
The
one?
news is big here this morning.
Wow.
Don't go to press yet.
Yeah.
I've got something.
She shared a tribute.
Yolanda Hadid, granddaughter.
Breaking news.
She,
Do you have a source that can confirm this? I'm not going with this unless you have corroboration.
well, they heard from an octopus that actually.
In a parking garage.
Yeah.
The octopus was in the shadows, but
I have it on good authority that Yolanda Hadid is her granddaughter.
Oh my God.
Would you go on record with that?
You are people who don't want this information out.
Oh my God.
He's scared, man.
I'm very scared.
And then he just walked away. That's my new favorite thing. The octopus walking away in a cavernous room with lots of reverb so you can hear it.
I can see you're an octopus. Even in shadow.
He's got a trench coat
He
on.
doesn't even need a trench coat. He's got like this amazing camouflage.
Listen, he's running now. Oh, man. Yeah, Casey, he just blends in with the floor.
It's amazing.
A dove formerly owned by Prince has passed away.
Yeah. Well, you know, he was big into the doves when doves cry.
Of course. But I didn't know that he had, well, this particular dove was named Divinity.
Yeah.
Female white dove owned by Prince. She died on Tuesday following a recent decline in her health due to her age. She was 28 years old.
That is an exceptionally old dove.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had a cat that lived to 22, and that seemed like an eternity for a pet lifespan.
Yes.
But listen, I know that some birds, like African grays and so on, can live for like 80 years.
Absolutely.
But I
They
didn't think
usually
it-
outlive their owners.
But I didn't think a dove had that kind of a shelf life, for lack of a better
I bathed
term.
in the purifying waters of Lake Minnetonka. And
That must have been
what
what
I
did it.
attribute my longevity to.
Well, longevity for divinity.
Following Prince's death in 2016, Divinity remained at his Paisley Park and could be seen during the tours of his former estate.
Divinity conducted the tours.
According to the executive director of the Paisley Park tours, said Divinity's beautiful coo has welcomed visitors since Paisley Park first opened its gates to the public in October 2016. She was one of the enduring links to Prince for thousands of fans. She will be missed.
I would love to go to Paisley Park.
Me too.
I read there was a really fascinating article. Prince started writing an autobiography, and he hired a writer to help him write it. And so a year or so before he died, the writing process began, and then the writer spent a lot of time in Paisley Park. And I've gained so much more of an appreciation for Prince after his death, which makes me feel guilty for some weird reason. But just everything that went into Paisley Park and his life is really amazing.
I was just watching a replay of yesterday of him at the Super Bowl when he did the halftime.
God.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and I've his version along with Danny Harrison and Tom Petty of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" from Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony years ago is just unbelievably great.
The outside of Paisley Park looks like a
Looks like a school or a warehouse or
you would
something
not
like
you would
that.
have no idea.
What I haven't seen are pictures of the inside.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's like a modern Graceland. Like it's Prince through and through.
Our old bosses.
MR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by the Bates Motel and Haunted Attraction in Glen Mills. It's the #1 rated haunted attraction in America, open now through Halloween. You can get tickets and reserve your time now at batesmotel.com. We'll start with a local story. This happened a few days ago, but Haverford police initially reported that 2 suspects were in custody following a Thursday morning robbery at the Santander Bank on Township Line Road in the Quarry Center. Bank security observed vehicle drive through the parking lot with an elderly white female in the front passenger seat. As police entered the parking lot, the vehicle fled at a high rate of speed. The vehicle, a gray Mitsubishi, was stopped, and its driver, Glenn Ellen Makshevsky, was positively identified as a bank robber and was taken into custody. The vehicle passenger, who was Makshevsky's mother, was also taken into custody, but was later released after the investigation revealed that she was not involved in the bank robbery. The dude took his mom to a bank robbery. She wasn't a part of it, and he's just like, hey, Ma, hang out for a second.
There was a lot of love in the family.
Well, they love each other.
She got caught up in this idiot robbing a bank.
Mom, can I rob a bank? Would you mind coming along?
Makshevsky
You shouldn't do that.
was charged with robbery, and she was not. So, come on, man.
What happened to all that meth equipment I bought for you?
A collision on the Trans-Canada Highway east of Vancouver resulted in an hour-long light show on Thursday night after the crash caused a cargo of fireworks to ignite.
Wow. Nice.
A semi-trailer
Nothing to see here.
traveling eastbound collided with a pickup truck towing a trailer full of fireworks that was parked on the side of the road. The crash, which happened around 10 p.m., caused the fireworks to go off, resulting in flashes and explosions above the highway. The incident closed the highway for about an hour until the fireworks eventually stopped. They had to just wait
till they run out.
Until everything
Preston,
stopped.
Another car derailed and it was filled with edibles.
Oh, my God.
Whoa!
Perfect. Ryan Kuhn says that he was on his way
rainbow. Oh, my God.
home when he saw a raging inferno of fireworks. Kuhn said that vehicles on the highway slowed down or stopped to watch the fireworks. He described as, quote, the best fireworks show I'll ever see. He said it was a bit of mayhem and described the semi-trailer which had caught on fire. The video taken by people at the scene shows fireworks exploding high in the sky above the highway as continuous pops and bangs are heard. One person was taken to the hospital. A man from Riverside County has been arrested and charged with 18 felonies in connection with a theft scheme involving multiple luxury cars. Listen to what this guy did. 25 years old, by the way. The owners of several high-end vehicles contacted the auto theft interdetection detail after they were unable to report their cars as stolen. Preliminary investigation revealed the suspect, identified as Kendall Clark, would fill out paperwork and pay for a one-week rental from a car owner, but would not return the vehicles. The cars were later located at dealerships around the country with titles that had been forged or washed by Clark to indicate a change in ownership. So
wow.
He was forging an ownership, and then he would go sell the cars. The total value was more than $1 million worth of cars that
25 years old.
Yep, the vehicles.
That's the kind of pluck we need.
Which were all returned to the respective owners include a 2022 Chevy Corvette, a 2015 Lamborghini Huracan, a 2021 Jeep Wrangler, 21 Porsche Cayenne, a 17 BMW i8, and a 2020 Lamborghini Urus. The Clark, who's being held on $250,000 bail, pleaded not guilty in the case. They believe he may have been behind some other thefts as well that they are keeping an eye on. Well, a 200-pound pet pig from Gettysburg, aptly named after actor Kevin Bacon, has led his owners and neighbors on a comical chase for nearly 2 weeks since he escaped from his barn, and he's developing a national following for his hijinks while evading capture.
Bacon! Bacon! Where's the bacon? I smell bacon!
Chelsea Rumbaugh and her family adopted the 2-year-old spotted Juliana pig on October 13th. They hope to give him a new home and a pen with a few piglets and a duck to keep him company. But the morning after the Rumbaughs brought Kevin home, they discovered that he had knocked over a post in their barn and had gone missing. And instead of properly running away, though, Kevin was alternating between hiding in the woods around the family's property and returning periodically during the day to eat and do his business. Despite Kevin sometimes getting in close range, the family has struggled to chase down the gigantic pig to make him cooperate enough to enter an enclosure.
I wonder if the actor has heard of this pig.
He has, but he hasn't responded on it yet, from what I understand. As soon as Rumbaugh realized that she was in for an adventure, she decided to make a Facebook page for Kevin Bacon in order to let the community know about the situation and deter hunters from shooting the pig.
Don't shoot my pig.
Rumbaugh's Bring Kevin Bacon homepage has amassed 1,500 followers since it was created. The page keeps track of Kevin Bacon sightings with updates on various traps and failed strategies to capture thus far. Has he commented on this yet, Nick?
No, this is a different pig that he's playing with, yeah.
Rumbaugh explained on Facebook page, black bears, pew-pews, and honestly, our surrounding neighbors just didn't ask for a pet pig.
No way.
Rumbaugh's neighbors have been helping her keep eyes on Kevin's whereabouts and devised a plan to corral him, whether by trap or lure. But Rumbaugh warned her neighbors that if Kevin doesn't submit willingly, he's going to make a scene. And fans of the Facebook page have made T-shirts for the Gettysburg Kevin to help the Rumbaugh family cover for some of the costs of capturing him and building him a spacious new home.
You know, they should do a Gettysburg reenactment with just pigs.
With pigs.
That'd be very interesting.
Who
right?
wouldn't want to see that? All right, and there you go. That is what I have in this morning's Bizarre File for you. All right, we're taking a break. We're coming back in a moment, and we're testing your knowledge of today's program to make sure that you've been listening today with a lesson question. We get some trash music news, too. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Because he's a program director in Minneapolis, and that's where it is.
That's cool.
So, yeah. I would love to
Elevator
go
inside and all the whole deal.
So, in addition to Divinity, Prince also owned a dove named Majesty, which, according to reports, were quiet. Both of them were quiet in the immediate days following his death, but they perked up after hearing his music.
I don't want to talk.
And a new generation of doves will continue to live on.
This is what it sounds like when doves cry. I'm gonna throw up.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds
When
like.
doves cry.
Yeah. They were upset about Prince's death.
I swear to God, I'm gonna throw up.
Oh my God! Hey, are doves the same things as pigeons?
No.
No.
They're related.
They are related.
Yeah, they're in the same bird family.
That's what I mean.
If you look at their license, there's a delineation.
Okay.
My dad and I used to go dove hunting regularly. We used to blast those things out of the sky.
Dude, I mean, come on.
We'd eat them.
I know, but still, it's like puppy hunting. You know? It's so nice and cute and peaceful.
They're different than the ones that you see. They're,
Okay.
they're,
Yeah,
the gray colored
They kill
ones.
families.
Okay.
Yes.
They are all tatted
he
up.
was doing service to the families of Kentucky.
They are literally the symbol for peace, however.
Yes.
I was completely eaten by a dove today. Anyone kill them for us?
Son, we got work to do.
We beat it to death with an olive branch.
I have a hair change story that
That's a cool sound effect.
After splitting from her fiance, Dale Moss, Bachelorette alum Claire Crawley is ready for love and a new pink hairdo.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I saw it.
Yeah?
I've not seen it.
It's not over the top.
It's not crazy hot
It's
pink.
light. She says she wanted to show that she could do something crazy.
Okay.
As we observed, everything she's done shows she can do something crazy.
Oh, you're right. It's a nice pink. It's like an ombre.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She didn't go. I was thinking like shocking. Like Katy Perry when she had super pink hair. Anyway.
Getting the tattoo of Florida on her forehead.
Did you see that guy?
I did.
Yes. He's got a tattoo of the state right on his forehead.
Ridiculous.
All righty, buddy. Source tells us she sees her time spent with Dale as something of her past and is ready to move forward.
It helped me to learn about myself.
So she has pink hair now.
Okay, the ombre's good. I kind of prefer the Ganon, bro.
What's the Ganon?
Come on.
Ganon, bro.
Keep going. Do it. Finish it.
I'm not finishing
Come on.
It's Ganon, bro. I like the up dog. Personally.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Here's the tattoo of the Florida, by the way.
That looks good.
I
Man,
love it.
what is going on?
I know. We have a monitor that's normally in front of us. It doesn't work, and I can't see the photos when they come up. But yes, that's just brilliant. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama went to Andra Day for The United States versus Billie Holiday. And overall best motion picture drama went to Nomadland. So there you go. That's our first foray into a very strange awards year.
It was. You know what was one of the weirder things, Preston? At certain points when they were going into a commercial and they had the nominees, they'd put the nominees up and they'd bring up their microphones so that they could sort of like talk and like. And there was, did you see Case? I don't know, because there was a point where Pacino was up for something and they were all, hi, Mr. Pacino, I'm a big fan of yours. And there's this cross talk that's not No one was overseeing it. It was just like you were listening in on a Zoom call.
Wait, so the crosstalk was between the fellow nominees?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they did that a couple times. If they ever do this again, they should not do that again.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, right?
It's very weird. And I'm like, is something supposed to be happening?
What was great though is when Soul won for best, I think it was best animated. Who do you call it? Tracy Morgan pronounced it as Saul, right? He goes, and the winner is, and he goes Saul. And then there was no reaction because there was no movie called Saw.
Right.
And then he realized that he had made the mistake. And then they had cut to the, it was for best original song. But either way, the actors, it was Sudeikis, it was the people that were up for the next award.
Right.
They were having a ball with it. They were cracking up. Don Cheadle was making fun of them, and it was really, really.
I think Pacino didn't realize that he was still on the Zoom call because he was standing in the doorway pleasuring himself.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh no, you
How
don't do
awkward
that.
is that?
It feels so good.
Right.
Well, I didn't see that clip, but I did see. I saw a clip.
I'm gonna shout!
Oh my God! Splat.
All over my walls and when my children play with their toys. You were expecting something like that. There were a few people who clearly were not quite up to speed on the tech.
I'm gonna shoot over here.
That was good.
Oh man!
Right after that.
Yes. Sorry, Nick.
No. This is also comedic. He fell asleep.
What?
Did he?
Yeah.
Was he asleep on camera, Nick?
Yeah. I mean, don't you usually fall asleep right afterwards?
Everybody's sleepy, and you've expanded yourself. So the camera pans across his screen, and listen, his eyes are closed, and he looks like he might have not actually have been asleep, but he looked like he was sleepy.
That was so much fun pleasuring myself.
Oh no, the poor guy. Getting old.
I don't feel so good.
That's hilarious.
I'm up and out.
So, according to a new survey presented by the Water Quality and Health Council, 51% of Americans reported using a swimming pool as a communal bathtub, using the pool as an alternative to showering or rinsing off after engaging in exercise, or yard work, or whatever it may be. Even though 64% of Americans know that pool chemicals don't eliminate the need to shower, people continue to do it anyway. By the way, the survey comes as experts from the council, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and, which I didn't know existed, the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Oh, that's great. That's what Darth Vader faces off in the second movie.
Work to educate the public on healthy and safe swimming.
We shall crush the Pool Alliance.
Yes, my name is Mortimer Sanchez, and I'm with the Pool Alliance. And we think you're a bad leader.
The survey also revealed.
I don't care.
The survey also revealed that 24% of Americans would go into a pool within 1 hour of having diarrhea.
See, that's now listen. That's why public pools are just not my thing.
Spend all
However,
day on the toilet. You know what I need to do? I need to take a swim.
get some of that residual out.
To check the chlorine and pH levels for a personal public pool, the council is offering free pool test kits through its 15th annual Healthy Pools campaign on its website.
This is the Alliance.
This is the Pool and Hot Tub Alliance.
Did you mention in this story, Preston, particular sunblocks affecting?
I didn't mention this.
Okay. Go into the pool now.
Peter Cushing.
Moff Tarkin.
This is the finest pool you'll ever swim in.
What were you saying, Nick? Sunscreens?
Yeah, the reason that I bring it up is that I went on a snorkel, not a scuba,
Snookles
or a snorkel, but a snorkel.
It's the latest craze that's sweeping the beaches of America. Snorkeling.
Get some Beach Boys.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be
Going
great.
outside, hanging tan, snookling all day long.
Surfing USA, please.
Oh, sorry.
I know what the snookle is, if I may suggest.
Everybody the snorkel.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen.
Snorkel USA.
I'm such an idiot.
All right, anyhow.
Snorkeling.
Oh, yeah.
I went snorkeling, and you weren't allowed to wear.
Snorkel at dawn.
You weren't allowed to wear the sunblock that you brought. You had to use the sunblock that they provided for you, and it's because the sunblock that most people wear is pretty damaging to the reef. And I was wondering if it would be damaging at all to like a pool filter or to the saltwater.
These are all good
treatment or
questions.
whatever. Yeah,
because some of the chemicals are pretty arch and can have that effect.
Yeah, and I've been snorkeling many times in my life, but this is the first time ever on a snorkel trip where I had to do this, and you weren't allowed to wear what you had, what you brought.
They provided.
They provided it for
Do you
you,
remember
yeah.
what it was? What type it was?
I don't. It was like an industrial vat of
It was called Reef Killer.
Yeah.
Reef Killer sunblock. A snorkel, by the way, as you're snorkeling, has a second tube that goes up back so that someone could
Jelly roll right here. Need a favor on MMR. It's everything that rocks. 11 minutes after 10 o'clock. Preston and Steve show. Collectively getting through a Monday morning together. We'll have our letter of the day along shortly for the Word of the Week prize. You know what else we'll have along shortly?
What?
Camp Out for Hunger. 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks. From today. So make your plans. What day you're going to come see us? What night you're going to come see us? What kind of donation do you think you'll be able to make? All that stuff. We'd love you to be a part of it. And we're trying to have some things there every day to entice anybody and everyone to come by in as big a group or as small a group as possible to donate to the cause. And all the details are available at WMMR.com. This will be our 26th Camp Out for Hunger that we've done. So we've been at it for a number of years. And as many years as we've been at it, we always feel like we're never ready for it. But it happens anyway. And it's 2 weeks from today that we will begin that live broadcast. So be a part of it if you can. Lesson question for today. We will give away as a prize $50 Metro Diner dining card, I should say. And let's see. Let's go with this. According to our discussion earlier, what kind of rodent is most flammable? 215-263 WMMR. They're like a tinderbox. They just go up like that. What kind of rodent or animal is most flammable? In the discussion we had just a little while ago. 215-263 WMMR. If you know the answer, call now.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, some stories while we await your calls.
Yes.
And what do we got today, Steve?
Well, Kris Jenner reflecting on the biggest mistake of her life when she cheated on her then-husband, Robert Kardashian Sr. It has been rumored that Kris cheated with O.J. Simpson, but she denies it, pointing to the fact that she still has her head.
Oh, my God.
In his memoir, John Stamos says when he was a child, he was called Big Nose Stamos, which led him to get a nose job when he started acting. Stamos says regarding cosmetic surgery, he was one and done and then 7 more.
Matt Damon!
Matt Damon. Ethan and Olivia Plath, stars of the reality show Welcome to Plathville, have announced they have split after 5 years of marriage. In a joint Instagram post, the couple admitted that the news should not come as a shock to anyone because no one knows who they are.
All right, we'll see if we can get an answer to the question, what kind of rodent is most flammable? 215-263 WMMR. We're going to go to Melissa to see if she knows. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
All right, Melissa, what rodent is most flammable?
It is a porcupine.
Yes. You're correct, Melissa. Hang on. A $50 Metro Diner dining card. You can visit metrodiner.com to get yours.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
No way. All right, so a couple stories. We'll start with this. Blink-182's new album, One More Time, debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 with 125,000 equivalent units in the U.S., thanks mostly to traditional album sales.
No way.
Blink-182 last earned a #1 album with 2016's California, featuring the lineup of Travis Barker, Mark Hoppus, and guitarist and vocalist Matt Skiba instead of Tom DeLonge. And the 2001 pop-punk classic, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. Drake's For All the Dogs remained at #2, followed by the Stones' album Hackney Diamonds at #3. Bad Bunny's latest dropped from #1 to #4
And then you had Morgan Wallen's One Thing at a Time rounded out the top 5. And speaking of Blink, they played a secret gig at a Long Beach Denny's restaurant on Thursday as they referenced a classic meme. The gig, which comes after the band's co-headlining sets at the When We Were Young Music Festival in Vegas, was teased both in the band's social media and during their sets at the festival. Mark Hoppus, Tom DeLonge, and Travis Barker played the surprise gig in support of their new album One More Time and the upcoming tour. They played Anthem Part 3 off their new album for the diner's customers. The impromptu performance paid homage to the legendary 2013 performance by the Houston-based metalcore band Live Without in an abandoned Denny's. And that event became known as the Denny's Grand Slam. Years later, a short video from that set went viral with the lead singer screaming, "What the F up is Denny's?" "What the F up, Denny's" is into the microphone. And that phrase became more often shared phrase and meme. So I wasn't familiar with it personally.
I was not myself, but I love the energy behind what they did.
Hoppus referenced the meme at the When We Were Young festival on Sunday as well. And we're going to play. We have a little clip of this, Casey?
Wait. No.
Okay. Blink 182.
We can scare it up
at
quickly.
Denny's. All right. So anyhow, DeLonge had never heard of it at the time.
Oh, wait, here it is.
You raised me
Hoppus referenced it at the When We Were Young festival, but DeLonge had never heard of it at the time. So we're not alone. He didn't know about it either.
Good.
Rumor service
Because I consider myself a hep cat.
that Blink was using the Denny's to shoot the music video for Anthem Part 3. That was the only song that was played at the Denny's gig, by the way. Fan video from the gig showed DeLonge interacting with a child actor, giving the rumor of a video being made from the gig more weight. The band also sold very limited edition T-shirts emblazoned with the "What the F is up Denny's" slogan on the back at the event.
I really, really like that new song. One More Time.
It's really nice.
It's pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we have it, Case.
We do. All right.
This is them at the performing at the Denny's. Here we go. Just record on somebody's phone.
Yeah, of course. So, two things.
Yes.
I once saw a concert at a diner from Howard Jones.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was part of the gimmick. He was promoting something and did a full concert at a diner, which is pretty wild to sit in a booth and watch Howard Jones. And then also the second would be a question: what is your Denny's menu item of choice?
My Denny's menu item of choice? Biscuits and gravy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity?
No.
No? Okay.
Not Moons over
Miami?
Yeah.
Moons over Miami's fine, but I always like their biscuits and gravy.
All right.
The Grand Slam's pretty good.
The Grand
It's a
Slam
good
is
deal.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you get?
The Grand Slam.
Yeah.
I think if I have to be really in a Denny's mode.
Yep.
With pancakes?
You know, you raise a good point, Danny. Yeah, maybe I'd throw
think
those
so,
in there
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're part of it.
But
Yeah.
you got to be in the mood. You're right.
Yeah.
There's so much butter
It's
on those
a lot.
pancakes. It's delicious.
But it is really the number one breakfast choice of athletes in training.
That's right.
The Grand Slam.
So yeah, they played the show and they did it at a Denny's, so it's pretty legendary for those guys. That's cool, and for all those that were able to make it by. After conquering the worlds of tequila, rum, and craft cocktails, Sammy Hagar is in the beer business now. The veteran rocker and Van Halen alum celebrated his new Red Rocker Lager brand in Detroit this week, home of the Red Rocker Brewing Company that was established specifically to make the new brew. Hagar said that he had been wanting to make beer for decades, since even before he launched Cabo Wabo Tequila during the mid-'90s, and he feels Red Rocker is a good fit with his audience. The lager is inspired by Mexican beers that Hagar likes and is described in the company's materials as golden, medium-bodied, light, crisp, and refreshing with just a touch of sweetness. The beer is currently available in parts of Michigan and Wisconsin.
Red Rocker Brewing CEO Eric Schubert says the company has also applied for licenses in 9 other states and hopes to be in approximately half of the United States by next summer.
So you look at Buffett, you look at Sammy Hagar with their liquor ventures.
Yeah.
The amount of money generated is staggering.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about this?
Yeah, what are we going to do? No, they're doing great, so good for him. After battling a severe case of pneumonia for several weeks, former L.A. Guns and Wasp drummer Steve Riley died. He was 67 years old, yeah. Former bandmate Blackie Lawless was devastated and posted on Facebook that his wife Mary Louise and son Cole were by his side in his final moments. Lawless wrote, Steve spent the past 5 decades building up a rich music legacy, touring the world countless times, selling millions of records, sharing the stage with incredible bandmates, and bringing joy to fans across the globe. His style was unmatched, influenced by the greats like Buddy Rich, Ginger Baker, and John Bonham, and his passion for the craft was evident until the very end. He said Steve's greatest legacy was his role as a loving husband and caring father. Godspeed, Steve Riley. So that's sad. Rob Zombie lost his voice, had to cancel a Vegas concert over the weekend due to laryngitis. He apologized to fans on social media.
I'm sorry.
And explained, I am so bummed to announce this, but I have no voice.
I can't do it.
He said, 0. I've tried sound checking, but couldn't get any sound out.
Have you ever had full laryngitis?
No,
Yes,
go ahead.
Remember, I had it last year.
Yeah.
Last holiday activities, we had to push it because I couldn't speak.
I've had it rough and raw and barely there, but never where I was full on. I am trying to speak, and I just cannot.
So I've had it to that level.
Yeah.
Years ago, and it seemed to go on forever.
No kidding.
Yeah, but
that's for a week.
High school I was in. Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't know. It lasted for a while. Sucked.
The Planet Hollywood show is part of the highly publicized 3-day Halloween hootenanny with Alice Cooper. So that's I'm sure he's bummed out he couldn't make it happen. And then finally, Bare Naked Ladies shared a new video in celebration of the 25th anniversary of their #1 Billboard hit, One Week. The clip merges AI technology and is the band's, as they explicitly pointed out, it was engineered by humans. But it features pop-ups of information and trivia along the video, which I have not seen as of yet.
You remember the VH1 pop-up videos?
Pop-up videos is great.
God, I love those friggin' things.
Yep. It was a great idea. They were able to take these videos that have been around for a long time, repurpose them, and have a new interest. People got a new interest in them because there were little factoids that came up about everything from extras that were in it to what the director was thinking when they did this, or the lyrics that were written about this song, or what what the artist wanted to do and why they were going. It was really cool.
That time has passed.
Yeah.
I wonder if they do have those in collections. If you could go hunt those down
And find out the old pop-up videos?
Yeah.
I'll bet you. Yeah, I'm sure YouTube's probably got a bunch of them, too. All right, and there you go. That's what I have in the entertainment, or I'm not in the entertainment news. It's the music news. We're going to take a break.
We were
gonna
entertained.
Come back in a second, and we'll do the letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize. It's a pretty sweet one, so we'll tell you about it when we get back, so stay there.
So that you can eat.
You're hungry.
So that's what a snookle
Right, a
is?
snookle is a second food tube.
Okay.
So that you can swim longer.
Everybody wins.
That's great.
They do have Snuba. Snuba is legit.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Snuba.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Snookle is legit as well.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious.
If you can swim, you can snookle. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Snookle offers shallow dives.
Approximately 10 to 40 feet without cumbersome tanks and no diving certification necessary. That looks like Snuba.
It does.
So what
A hose,
what
right?
they do is, they have a floating tank that stays above the water, and you basically take the regulator down, and it's a long tube, a long hose that you can breathe in. We're getting ready to get to go into a refresher course for scuba to get set for our vacation. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'll ask about snookle.
Yeah.
Zombie raccoons. That's my thing.
Yes.
That clumsily walk on 2 legs and show their teeth are staggering around suburban Chicago, and authorities are warning locals to hide their pets. A spike in raccoons testing positive for distemper in Riverside, Illinois, is to blame for the bizarre sightings of contaminated animals that the disease causes to appear zombie-like. While zombie raccoons don't eat brains, distemper is highly contagious. If you're feeding wildlife and that raccoon ate out of your bowl or cat food for your stray cats and your puppy goes over, the saliva can be contagious.
They sent in a Negan raccoon to take care of everything.
Well, oh, well, oh, well. Looks like we got ourselves a problem in Chi-Town. Leaning back high. Looks like we got some trouble. Some trouble in Chi-Town. Going deep dish on this bitch.
It's got a little leather jacket he wears. Yeah.
Lean back, way far. Ooh, hey. In the home of Oprah.
There was an email that was sent out that we were going to have our studios checked because there may have been bed bugs brought into the area. And we've had everything checked out. They actually just brought a dog in to sniff. Yeah, I think it was Jack Russell is what it looked like.
Josie was her name.
Josie is the dog. And there's no bed bugs.
Well, no, that's not true. There were on a chair.
Oh, was there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Or yeah, it was certainly like a warm zone or something.
A warm
like that
zone.
They call those.
That's
So
what I call my
not
chairs at
hot
home.
zone.
Yeah, my warm zone.
I think what everybody was worried about was an infestation, which I guess is not the case if it was just on the chair. I don't know.
Just on the chair. The rest of the place is apparently clean. Josie scoured our studio and nothing.
And I'm never coming back again.
You would have thought there was a radiation leak here.
Yeah. So I never told my wife that there was a bed bug.
She wouldn't have let you go to work.
No.
That was the first thing I told my wife, and I started laughing.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I'm surprised that's all we have. They're ripping the entire building apart, walls that haven't been opened up in years.
Yeah.
I imagine at night there must be a big vermin hoedown when we leave. Because you walk around, there's these caverns. Like a wall will disappear.
Yeah.
There's a big opening now.
Yeah.
You walk down one hole, it's 11 degrees, and then the next hole, it's 1,400 degrees. It's a whole new environment. It's like you're on some spaceship that's just, morphing all the time, and that's what this is here.
Well, I'm just glad that they alerted us to it.
Yeah.
Because during some of the construction, apparently they were removing asbestos, and nobody ever told us.
Well, that's when that wall went up down at the end of the hallway.
Yeah.
Because, and I almost walked into that wall. That's how quickly it went up. I started to turn down to go down to what I thought was Chuck's office down the hall that used to exist.
Like Looney Tunes.
And there was a wall.
So my wife will, when we go check into a hotel, it's always the same situation. We open the door, we shut the door, we leave our bags right at the door while she goes and strips all the beds and looks through all the furniture for bed bugs. She's like definitely
She's fanatical. So before you guys even enter the room,
we have to leave our bags at the door. There's an inspection.
I really wanted to come in a hazmat suit or some sort of bubble, but I couldn't find anything.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going through our text chain, and I'm like, hey, by the way, this is going on. I'm not going to tell my wife. And then Kathy immediately goes from 0 to freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Get the F out of here. I'm not coming into work tomorrow. Who the F has bed bugs? Holy F, no, like 1,000 exclamation points. And then she says, do you know how hard it is to get rid of bed bugs? What's the company going to do about it? And when? And then Preston sends a GIF, of like a bed bug jug band.
Yeah, playing music. And then Kathy fires back, that's not funny.
It's not funny.
I think I said F you to anybody who's not taking this seriously.
And then I think Nick said, read Joe's email. And then Kathy says, F the email, F the bed bugs, and F whoever doesn't think this is a big deal. Where are we going to do our show tomorrow? Clearly, we can't go to the station, and we need an on-site location.
My house is clean.
My house is clean.
Yeah. You're ready to set up shop somewhere else.
100%. If you guys would have said, yeah, we have to do the show somewhere else, I would offer it up my house.
Oh, really? Oh, my God.
So it was one bug down the hall, right?
Yes!
Okay, I'm just asking.
Could you see Casey coming home? Diane wants to check him, so she takes out the blue light. Doesn't find any bed bugs, just semen
Bathed in semen, yeah.
All over my face. We're good.
The woman was saying that they have dogs that can do all sorts of that check for bugs that actually will.
Wait a minute. I thought you meant that bed bugs use dogs to travel around.
Mush.
For a ride.
I thought you meant as piggybacking.
You've never seen the bed bug Iditarod?
No.
It's good. Yeah.
It must be majestic.
It's compelling.
Yeah, good dog, good dog. Good dog. Yeah. I love being out out here, the open range. Yeah!
Let's see here. As Godzilla vs. Kong, starring Millie Bobby Brown, performed much better than expected given the circumstances of COVID and so on, and the original movie King of the Monsters' lackluster box office performance. A threequel is expected with Adam Wingard set to direct again.
So he directed the most recent one,
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
So according to the Hollywood Reporter, the concept being floated is Son of Kong. Godzilla vs. Kong has crossed $400 million globally and is the top-grossing Hollywood-produced movie since the pandemic hit.
They're going to have to correct something now in both these, Son of Kong and Son of Godzilla. You gotta have a female Godzilla. Something. Who's he banging?
Yeah.
Where does this? Not unless they're asexual. They reproduce that way. I mean, there's only
it's Son of Kong,
right? But there's also Son of Godzilla.
Oh, is there Son of Godzilla?
Yes, I'm sure that's in the works as well.
So maybe he could reproduce asexually. I don't know. We don't know much about Godzilla. He's kind of a mystery, but definitely not Kong.
Well, Godzilla could.
Not.
No, he's more.
Yeah.
He's a simian.
He's a mammal.
Why do we assume that Kong is a man? Wouldn't
we
see
know it? He's all man.
Well, I don't know.
Wouldn't he be Queen Kong?
Yeah, he'd be Queen Kong.
Okay, fair point. But I didn't see any low-hanging fruit, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, they left that out. In fact, can you on apes, or do they? I've never.
Is there junk external?
That's a good question.
Apparently, it's pretty small. I remember that we talked one point about animal genitalia.
Yeah, but even on Kong, it would be big enough.
You're right. But
it'd be the size of
proportionally
a VW, you know.
Yeah,
it'd be the size of me.
Be as tall as Steve.
I want to see King Dong. I want to see it.
There actually was a movie called King Dong.
Of course, there was.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's a rom-com. Like he's romancing this lady, and that's about how they have the baby together.
Oh, the next Kong movie?
Next one, yeah.
4 weddings and a King Kong.
That could be. It could be something like that. We'll have to see. An inspiring story.
Giant ape walked into her life.
All right. So anyhow, we will see if that comes to pass or not. But
how big his junk is, and whether there's a Mrs. Kong.
Son of Kong. We'll have to see.
What a goddamn day today. Sit down. I'll make you some dinner. I'm fighting these things that are apparently prehistoric, and yet I've never seen them, and I'm on an island. You think I would want to cross? I don't even know why they evolved that way. They're like snake things with. Just give me a beer.
Turns 58 years old today, so we play Machine Head on 93.3 WMMR because it's everything that rocks, of course. So happy birthday, Mr. Rossdale. 10:33 today, being a Monday morning, as we are wrapping up our program. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and we will have a letter here in just a second for a word of the week prize. I'll tell you what that is and what it all entails. But first, I would like to thank our one and only guest today. We had a lovely young local gal, Jennifer Cram, who was here. Writer and director of a movie called Sick Girl, which is available now on all the streaming platforms that will have it. And so you can find it on Amazon Prime, on Apple, on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. But looks cool, and she's local and really, really nice, and we hope that it turns out to be a really big thing.
She's a heavy hitter in the casting side of the business. She's a ton of movies and TV shows.
Yeah, and there's some cool people in the movie as well.
Yes,
so,
Nina Dobrev, who from Vampire Diaries.
Called Thick Girl.
Thick.
So make sure you
feels so good.
Take a look when you get a chance. Sarah Parker is here.
What's up, Denny's?
She's our sick chick. How you doing?
I see you brought me some treats this morning.
That is.
I walk over and there is a giant, piled vertically. There's so much height in these croissants. Like, what is this for?
No, they're what they're called meltaways, and they're delicious. And you should have one right now.
I'm wearing all black, so I don't know how this powdered sugar is going to work out for me. Perhaps I'll save it until I'm not on camera anymore.
You're wearing the Blood Drive shirt.
Sure am.
Which is one of my
Preston and
favorites.
Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Walking Dead version of our Preston and Steve
That
Blood
one's
Drive
great.
shirt. That's
Yeah.
a solid one. Yeah. Thank you for wearing that.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's spooky season.
And
so I
then
had
on your
to.
hat, is that just a skull? I can't quite make it out.
Oh, I got this hat at the Depeche Mode concert last week. Has anyone in this room seen Depeche Mode live?
I have, yes.
It I'm a changed woman.
They're great.
Oh
That's your
my
first
God.
time?
Yes.
I've seen him like 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad that I waited this long because the whole set just spanned their catalog.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I got the full experience
did.
of it. And I didn't know until that show that Anton Corbijn, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he's collaborated with Depeche Mode just as much as he's collaborated with U2 with the visuals and the album art and all that stuff. And I was like, this makes sense because I love U2's aesthetic.
Right.
And the visuals that Depeche Mode had were incredible.
I think it's Corbijn, Anton Corbijn.
Corbijn.
Yeah, but it's got a J in there. Yeah.
But we know him as Anton.
Excellent.
First name basis.
We're buds.
Well, cool. So
Big A.
We've not anything else in your wardrobe we need to check out? You're just wearing jeans.
My,
So
my Reebok sneakers.
Your Reeboks,
I
okay.
just got these at DSW.
Hey, I like DSW.
Kathy perked up when I said that.
You're wearing a
You know.
You're wearing a necklace that's a knife, a dagger.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it says something.
Okay.
Heartbreaker.
That you are. All right, shall we do the letter of the day, though?
Let's do it.
All right, so let's do this.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
T as in total.
All right, T is in total, and we have a 4-pack of tickets for the sold-out Tool concert. Could have been T as in Tool, too. Thursday, November 16th, Wells Fargo Center, and we, of course, are going to be at the Camp Out for Hunger right there in the parking lot while that's going on. So hang on, because Friday you can win those tickets, but keep collecting those letters. Are you in just today? Or
Just today,
Okay,
yes. Pierre
all right.
will return tomorrow.
All right. What do you-
Today,
what do you
we've got workforce blocks starting at noon of the Smashing Pumpkins, U2, and Linkin Park. You mentioned that it's Gavin Rossdale's birthday, so I'm sure we'll get to some Bush at some point, and we'll see what else we can get into. Make sure you text me at 39333.
Wonderful. Sarah's going to take good care of you. I want to thank our sponsors. President and Steve Show brought to you today by Duncan, and the President and Steve Show runs on Duncan. Also brought to you by Meineke for tires, brakes, batteries, exhaust systems, and more. Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot. Tomorrow's program, we're going to have in studio Paul Mercurio.
Good friend.
Always nice to see Paul. And we'll be seeing him on Halloween morning.
How about that?
So we'll have some Halloween discussions tomorrow, too. So that's it. We're done. Rage on. And have a great day. And we'll see you tomorrow, gang. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.